that right if I do that?
Sure, whatever you want.
Oh.
What's that?
So it's you apparently talking to him.
Hello and welcome to the Beach Brawl 2026. My name is Rick.
Given once we get it started up. So
Battle-driven
play,
podcast
pause,
for
the
Warmachine.
button. You can switch,
And
play,
I just want to
pause,
thank
and I can give
everybody
an error message.
for swinging
When it
by
gets to 10
and
seconds, it's gonna
watching
give you a
this
warning
top
beep,
four.
and then it's
So,
gonna count down from 5.
on deck for today, we have Snooptwin versus Maxwell.
Just so you don't get
I
surprised
am
by the
pulling
clock
up
running out.
their lists now. We have Snoop on Dusk and Maxwell
Never played against Storm Legion.
Cool.
on Storm Legion. So I am looking up what the scenario is currently. We're looking at trench warfare. So, very exciting. I think it's going to be a very cool matchup. I recently was playing Storm Legion earlier this year, and I have been having a lot of fun with it. Looking over what their pairings are. So Snoop
Cool beans. Thank you. Are we live right now?
is going to be playing Azeroth and Tyrus. So looking over their run so far,
Yeah, take it off.
Snoop
Yeah.
played against Valix with Tyrus and happened to lose on scenario. Looks like it was a pretty good game. Then he played into Sabrith with Tyrus. And ended up winning that one on scenario 4-0. So just a super hard push, aggressive, and ended up just getting a huge lead and just kind of holding on to it for dear life. And ended up taking that one. And then played against Dan Hojanaki, who dropped a Vilcool, it looks like, dropping Tyrus again. So maybe we're going to see a little bit of a preview of, the line doesn't concern himself with the second list. There, I said the line. And so, looking at Storm Legion, we are going to actually, you know what? Let's take a second and look at that Tyrus list. So, it's called Zoomies on Ice. Very good name. Kudos to you. So we're looking at an Arknode Ghast. We're looking at one Sire for that Stir the Blood action. We're looking at Dissus for the additional Kiss plus possible Stranglehold. We have Nestillan Aberration, just a big chunky boy getting some revives off for these two, count them, 2 units of cap. So they are leaning into the Heart of Ice on one of the cats and IR on the other side of the cats, really pushing up a lot of pressure. They threat the world. Okay, I think we just heard the matchup. I'm not going to be surprised if you pick Tyrus.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. I'm gonna use my tablet though.
Hey,
Yes, Erica, it is me. Tyrus is the best caster in faction. I'm glad he's been hard this event. I agree. I think that there is definitely a camp of people that are kind of love or hate Tyrus. I have a lot of locals like Dan Berger and Mark Cornacchia who absolutely adore that stupid spider samurai. He does everything and nothing at the same time. Arcane Vortex is a huge hill that you have to come over to kind of even just play the game. And like we saw from the results here, there are certain games where you just beat alphas, but the main purpose of it is to just jam and keep you on your side of the table. So when that happens, I'm going to score these couple tertiary points, and unless you are just straight bum rushing and running and not engaging me, I may just win on scenario. So it's always going to be a concern with that kind of matchup. It leads to a very fast game, so you don't have to worry about usually. You don't have to worry too much about clock.
Yeah, I'll do the same.
And I think it is very important to keep in mind when you're playing against Tyrus that he has that threat range that can just reach a country mile. So you can play the I'm going to stay out of a billion inches of my opponent, but it puts you in a very awkward situation because sometimes that just makes you not be able to play the game. So you have to kind of give him a little bit of something, just not too much. So yeah, we're seeing these two guys still set up. Like we said, it is trench warfare. Oh God, he has those awful Q workshop dice. I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. Those dice are very difficult to read. and it is because
roll on the table for
Hugh
this one now,
Workshop,
just
back
to-
in the day with
Oh, yeah,
Privateer
no worries.
Press,
Them too.
decided to design these really interesting and intricate design dice when a die is really
playing
just supposed to be
Tiras?
read
Yes,
for the
sir.
number. So legendary history with those dice of just rolling and having no idea what result you got. So very good point to make to the people at home. Ask for a share code.
I'll go first.
So if
Oh, you
you
dirty
have
man. I
any
want
idea or
first.
any
I
confusion
wanted
whatsoever
first.
about your list, my
Okay.
teammate
Against
Brandon, who is
Tiras,
running this
spin the
lovely
middle of
event,
the board, threading my
really
entire-
instilled in our brains
That's the
saying,
game
"Hey,
plan. That's the game
ask
plan.
for a
Yeah.
share code."
I thought about
You
it.
you haven't memorized their whole army probably.
I played
You
Kane
probably have
twice,
some
Finn
questions,
once.
and instead
Kane
of
doesn't
it's an
need it.
open information game, so instead of being like, "Hey opponent, what's your stats?" You can just be like, "Hey, you know what? I got them right here. I can just look it up, no problem." Really
Which side
good
would you
practice
like?
to
I'm
get
sorry, I
into.
don't know if it's stated.
Oh, you know,
So we're looking
I really
at.
don't want to give Kane a hill.
Let me pull up
I'm
the Storm Legion player.
Is that wall in Killbox?
Oh, very good question to
that
ask if that wall is in
I have a
Killbox.
feeling it is.
Yeah, I can't.
Oh
so you can't get that
no,
wall
that's
from
going to be a
Killbox.
really big deal.
But remember,
So the
it's
fact that his caster cannot
French
hide
warfare, so
behind
like
that
the
wall,
40s right here, I'm in
if
cover.
he does, he will be in the kill
that's
box, which
fine.
for the folks
I
at
don't-
home,
I don't
that
have
gives
much
his
shooting, to be
opponent
honest,
2 victory
so it's
points.
more just
And
looking
when
for
you
charge
only need to be up
lanes.
3 on your opponent to win the game on scenario, those 2 points are going to be a
capping
really
hill.
big deal.
Are you done with the code?
Oh yeah, thank you.
So I see that they are just doing that. Okay, so
Yeah,
we're going to go through the Storm Legion
Do you have a
pairing
code for
really
me?
quick.
I know you
The
have
Storm
a-
Legion player
no
has
worries, let
Athena
me-
to borrow
Dynamic Tyrus
and
converter on
Kane
these two.
4. Without even
The only
looking
thing that
at
sucks
their
is my
matchup
fl-
spread,
actually,
I'm going to
it's not
say
really-
that
it's
they
not bad
played
for me
Kane
because
at
I
least
can't
2
cap on
times.
objective, so my
So
flag
round
will be
1,
the Burning Forest.
I
sorry, what were you saying?
believe
Share code?
we
Yeah, if you don't
saw.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, yep. Okay, so this will be actually the second
new share
time at
code.
this event, at events this weekend, that we saw Kane 4 actually take down Dexys. Maxwell did it through scenario. Bob over at the Gem City IGQ actually took him down by killing him. So really interesting to see maybe if
Let's get
the
these
Dexys player
objectives
has to
set
be
up.
super cagey and super position heavy to be able to survive. Something really maybe we should look into after this weekend's events and see how that really played out. They actually played Athena
Oh god.
into Dreamer Grimkin on the Big Up Grumbly Bumps Unite. And it is something like something that I've been thinking about recently is with Grimkin on the podium for multiple events this weekend. It's really a red flag for everyone for them to be on notice. You need to know what they do, start reading their cards, and kind of figure out what they want to do on a turn-by-turn basis. One of the kind of, I would say, almost weaknesses of the faction right now is the ability to spread out. Just normal Fury Warlock issues where the caster can only stretch so far in both ways. And
Ooh, a cash. We gotta
in
play with
two
all the
fronts,
toys today.
he played against Rusty, dropped Athena, and Rusty dropped Dreamer, and Rusty ended up losing on scenario,
inside the
10
tape?
to
Okay,
1.
very
So
good.
really kind of, I would not be surprised if the stretching out really was affected. Like they weren't able to affect enough theaters of battle as Cosmo like to coin. Super educational video. You should
Is
look
it
up
same for
on this
deployment
channel, I
too?
believe. So Maxwell ended up taking that one 10 to 1. Going into round 3, Maxwell played against Phil H. It was Kane 4 versus Tyrus, which I believe I haven't confirmed yet, but I think we're going to see it again. And this was on payload, and unfortunately, Maxwell clocked out. Trap wall is a trap. I would 100% agree, Joe.
14 and
So already looking at this,
14
I'm
and
not sure if that
22?
building is going to be a problem or not. Good gravy. That 50 placement is nuts. Looking over at that, that is going to be just a nightmare for both players. Hi, Brandon.
So it's the 40 and
Hello,
50 on the ground
sitting here from the judging table. Join in to say hi while I can.
Nice. So I was just talking about that 50 placement for this table. I think it's going to be an absolute nightmare for both players. They're going to be it's going to be so easy to contest it. And on the Storm Legion player's side, he's going to be able to get cover and blast resist from that. So, like, man, that is just going to be an absolute nightmare. But with that being said, Tyrus will give everything. Do we know the matchup yet?
I'm not sure that we do. We should.
I know they threw
I
some
can ask the
codes,
players
but
here. 1 second.
I was yapping. Sorry.
So Brandon was mentioning. Tyrus versus.
Thank you. And Cyrus versus Kane.
Tyrus versus Kane. I called it. Yay! I think it's absolutely hilarious because Maxwell just played Tyrus versus Kane last round, and he ended up losing on clock. And Brandon is away doing his judgely duties as he should. Especially with trench warfare, there is a lot of judge calls for terrain just to make sure that everything is clean, everything is good to go.
So it's 2 inches extra from here, right? Or
from this direction.
They're just checking some measurements currently.
Yeah.
okay. So if I add 2 inches because it's 21. Goes, I don't know. That seems.
No.
You subtract 2.
No, why are we
Basically,
adding 2
19
inches?
from the mat.
Oh, okay.
Basically from this to
Yeah,
that, right?
it's like
Yeah,
it's
we're
it's
doing it.
the off-color
Okay.
wood. Is effectively
Then I
that.
think we're good.
So the players
So
asked
subtract 2 inches.
for some
Okay,
help
I
with
was- I mean,
the
I was doing
measurement,
it wrong.
and they lifted
12
the
inwards.
Yeah. So then this is.
they lifted the
10
fountain
inches
to
from
get it
the
out of the
edge
way,
of
and
this.
the objective did not
Okay,
need to be there.
perfect. I knew
That's
I was doing
perfectly
something
fine.
wrong. Thank you.
We have the building that
It needs to be 12 inches above floor.
I always enjoy moments like this in the game that we play because it's always like super mega precise measuring, and then all of a sudden somebody just does something.
25. So 25.
Brandon making a call saying that this building's going to be here now, and that's the joy of being a tournament organizer. You just get to do that. So yeah, so we're
this looks
good.
better.
Good. Now we
I'm
know.
sorry, I
Now we
was
know the
putting it
matchup.
live.
So let us go into what the lists
15,
are and what we're going to be looking for, kind of
Yeah, I was
pregame
like- I
before we
didn't know how to
see where they
explain it. I
deploy
was
and
like, I
start
think
making
you just
decisions.
measure,
So we're
like,
looking
two-
at
basically
Tyrus. We're
subtract
looking
2
at
inches
King.
from the measure.
King.
Ah,
Bang
to
bang. A
accommodate
lot of
that.
guns, a lot of shots.
That makes
But
a lot more
this
sense,
is
'cause I was
Storm
like,
Legion
add
King,
2 inches?
not
I was
Gravedigger
like,
King.
wait a
So
minute.
he's not going to be able to really push the issue as much as Gravedigger King could. But let's finish going through that Tyrus. That's what we kind of
So
talked
then
about
my
earlier.
decoy
So
is
we talked about
only
he has the
9
two
inches
cats.
then,
One's going to get
correct?
Heart of Ice. One's going to get IR, Invaluable Resolve.
Because of
He has
my
an arc
size
node
11 is two
for
is
some
nine.
random stranglehold plays, but also it's just a cheap cohort model. Excuse me. And
It'll
he has
loo.
the access
It'll
to
loo.
revive. He has Valus for a little bit of stay death, and one unit of assassins, one unit of guardians for shield guards, and the warden to give them stealth and stuff like that, or entropic, which can be very helpful sometimes, and the last watch, the third shift, as Erica likes to coin them.
It'll loo.
And obviously just
Do you have any
a lot of
questions about my
really
list?
elite
Do you know I've never
good
played Storm
models,
Legion, so,
and so I'm going to be really curious how
let me see. I
Maxwell
know that
ends
the
up
hammer guys are
approaching this
pretty
matchup
good.
because
What's their,
everything's threat's very full.
I
It
guess
has very
what's-
good stats overall,
Just-
and if he positions correctly, Trench Warfare allows you to kind of bubble up in the middle, and this is going to allow Tyrus to use his Arcane Vortex to stop Calamity plays, and so I'm really curious how he is going to kind of scalpel out what he needs to before he just gets to feet and charge and do a lot of damage.
So Dan, just to give you an update on what's going on with the table,
Yeah,
this map that we're using is 44 inches
1 inch, or is the
long.
plus a flat one?
So it's 2 inches too short at both deployment edges.
Is it just for
I meant to switch it this morning before the round started, but
Mhm.
as you may know, and as the viewers may know, when you're running an event, there are a million balls in the air.
Are they
I didn't
Absolutely.
get around to it.
from a shield?
So the
Shield
players
wall.
are having
Shield
difficulty
wall, okay.
measuring
So
the
if there's
objectives
somehow
from the
not,
table edge, which is why I
just a
had to
base for shield wall
move.
still?
They thought I was going to have to move the one obstruction, which is that acid bath.
Right.
Turns out that we didn't have to.
Mhm.
And then with the other objective, it needed to be moved because it's trench warfare. There's obstructions in the way,
Oh yeah.
and that's where I ended up placing it. I will say that as a TO running this event with like 12 to 14 tables, the new scenario packet is a nightmare. I get like 6 to 12 judge calls at the beginning of every round just to move things because they're going to be on top of objectives.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a major time sink. I'm getting my steps in today.
This is a symmetrical scenario too. This isn't even like a
Yeah,
like a
this is
crazy
one of the easy
offset.
ones. I am not doing pressure point at this scenario. Like, get out of here. It's not going to
I
happen.
just
right?
refuse.
I made that choice from the beginning.
Yeah.
I deleted it from the list. We've
So-
got 7 choices. We have 6 choices. 5 rounds.
To be fair, it seems like a bit of a tradition at this point where, like, as soon as the new scenario packet comes out, we pick one that nobody plays and then we play the other one. So
Yeah, there's the
So-
one pariah scenario and everything else. Is good.
so while we have you here, I know that you have extensive experience with Gravediggers versus Kane, and he got a judge call. So when he comes back, my main question is going to be, how would he approach the Tyrus matchup with this in mind, this kind of elite list, as opposed to the other option in the Blade Master spam? Joe bringing up a great. Well, I still have it. Great. So, with Storm Legion Kane, what would you say are your priorities in the matchup against Tyrus?
Let me go into another room where I'm not like 6 feet from the players, and you won't be able to see me, but I will chat with you.
Amazing.
Trying to,
So this is exactly what I would exploit in this matchup, and I would automatically win if I just do these 1 or 2 things. So while Brandon is changing locations, let us jump over to Maxwell's Kane list. I know that we kind of see it on the table here, but I'd like to have it up in front of me. So we have the Kane man himself. We have a Mag Bolter Voltaic Punching Spike Arc Node Courser. That's a little interesting. But he has a little armor piercing shot. He has the Arc Node, but maybe he doesn't have to Witch Mark to Calamity. And the Voltaic Punching Spike, I think, is just the cheap option that he's going with. So we have Carver Ultimus and Warboar, Big Pig. Makes a lot of sense. See-through stealth and a lot of volume fire guns that make Calamity kind of force multiply. And so then we have Elish Garrity, the Dark Trader. Puppet Master is very big for Kane. He has a lot of really important roles, and he only has so much focus to do what he wants to do. So the reroll for him or the Black 13th can be very critical in this matchup. If he's trying to set up a momentum shot or maybe like a both barrel shot and really needs that roll to go well, having that reroll is a godsend. So we have 1 Legionnaire officer for like Tactician or Grievous Wounds for the unit of Assailers can be really great. Grievous Wounds with and having access to slams is a lot of flexibility. The Storm Guard for that Weapon Master against cohort models, always nice to have. 1 unit of mechanics, and the biggest development, I would say, is having Deuce on Sarah Brisbane. I think that is definitely a huge call because there are a lot of lists that can kind of reach out and get to Sarah. So I would be very scared of her falling over dead.
Are you getting me here, Dan?
I am.
I'm on my phone roaming around the tournament.
I noticed. We're getting the GoPro angle.
Yes. So you wanted to talk. Oh, hold on. Can I do the back-facing camera so we can creep at people's tables?
Hey,
Ooh, yeah.
let's go.
So here is one of the top tables.
Yep.
This is Bazooka Dan, John, Basketball Nick is his name. Got a very long name. And this is Phil Howell, our local. This matchup is looking like Moraine versus Makeda.
Makeda, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, back to the front-facing camera. So you wanted to ask about the Tyrus versus Kane matchup. What was your question?
Correct. What would you say are the primary objectives going to trench warfare in this matchup that you would say from the Kane perspective? What are things you specifically want to remove, and what do you want to accomplish?
So in general, if I'm playing Kane on trench warfare, sort of matchup agnostic, I want to make sure that I have melee elements available and in position to attack my opponent's 50 mil, because obviously my guns are going to be less effective against any models they have over there benefiting from the trench warfare, like special cover and blast resist rule. So I want to make sure my melee elements are positioned for that. I want to make sure that I'm committing enough to never lose my cash, especially if I'm going first. In trench warfare, if you lose your cash bottom of 2 as the attacker, you're probably losing unless you know for sure that you can score enough points to get back, which almost always means you have to be able to get your opponent's cash. It's incredibly difficult.
Immediately.
So I
agree.
Yeah, so I may be sacrificing material just to make sure that he can't get my cash. Beyond that, in the matchup specifically, I think against Tyrus, the Arc Node is a priority. Not because of the Stranglehold plays here, but because of the ability to Abyssal Gate. Making sure I didn't just get a judge call. Got judge call PTSD at this point. I love my players. I'm happy to answer any judge call. But I hear somebody say something remotely similar to judge. I'm like, is it me? Is it my time? So the second I can get the Arc Node, I want to take that opportunity. You have so many powerful tools, even with Storm Legion Kane, to reach out at range and get the Arc Node. It's just a question of positioning, how many shield guards are there, etc. And then other than that, I want to be able to get rid of long range threats. He has presumably some range elements like archers or something in his list, sniper teams. I haven't looked at the exact models.
But
Kane has a lot of
exceptionally
what's
heavy melee oriented list.
Mostly melee. Okay.
Yeah.
Kruger is an important target to prioritize, but mainly it's the long range melee models that I'm looking to prioritize if I can, because a Kane list is going to have a good amount of range resilience to begin with. And what you don't want is to necessarily be getting charged by cats from like 14 inches away, plus Abyssal Gate, right? Now, with Storm Legion, it's very different than with Gravediggers because they have a lot of melee elements themselves. I don't think any of them are resilient enough to take a charge from any of the dust melee modules and survive. So you're looking to handle those things. But like villain number 1 is the Ghast, and then villain number 2 for me is probably going to be Kruger. And beyond that, I'm looking at cats, assassins, which aren't a particularly difficult pickup for a Kane player, even in Storm Legion. And other than that, it's just making sure you are positioned to not lose on Snar and Trench Warfare, which is, again, matchup agnostic, and it just means putting material there, which Storm Legion Kane has an easier time doing.
Absolutely, especially with things like assailers and stuff like that. And having to chew through like a unit like that and then sacrifice your action to score the cash, a lot of people just don't have enough in the tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And so with that in mind, Moment of Clarity Gaming, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. Loved your stream.
The original streamers. These guys have been doing great work. Piotr and whoever else is helping him. Fantastic, fantastic production.
Super great crew. So I think that looking at this, the takeaway is enemy number 1 is yourself. Because if you let your opponent get the cash, like we said, the game can get away from you so fast. Now, we're saying that, bottom of 2, that can be an immediate problem. Hey, spoiler alert, turn 3 is also a concern. When it's still relatively early game, if you just give them a couple of models and then they take it and they get the cash, they can put you in a really awkward point, because once they've achieved that, it doesn't matter how the attrition game is going. I just have to shove my army and contest as much as possible and say that I'll probably win the game this way. And when they're taking away charges, they're minimizing your offensive impact, or now a bunch of them are engaged. In Kane's note, like now everybody's engaged, they get +4 for being in combat. Like it makes your life much more of a nightmare, and they don't have to think about it. So their clock advantage is going to be huge as well. Granted, the opponent has to make the call that I'm just going to shove, and that some people do like to kind of hem and haw on that because it's a really kind of all chips in play. But if the opponent is savvy enough to just be like, oh, I can just win the game.
I'm gonna AD
Moment of Clarity. It is Kane and Storm Legion Kane versus Tyrus. And so, like I said, top enemy is yourself. The next enemy, I would say, is just think about the positioning. I think that's a big takeaway from my experience with this packet so far has been you have to deploy with purpose. Long ago are the days where you can just kind of deploy centrally and say, it's fine, I'll figure it out. I think that you need to have a plan, turn 1, turn 2, where you're going to be positioning, where after you run turn 1, is your footprint in the proper place to be effective turn 2? I think that a lot of people kind of get a little willy-nilly with just, I'm just going to run full speed forward, and then they can't really accomplish what they want to do. So with that concept in mind, we're going to start to
We've got our Rusty and our Alex Cosmos art interrupt.
Heck
Having
yeah.
fun at the
Those
table.
guys are great. Rusty is so awesome. We have Hojanaki, and who's he playing?
Ryan Cherboga.
The spell rack himself. So that's super cool. Looking over at their deployment, we see that there are the assailers on both ends, and realistically, what they're there to do is that they are just scenario monsters. They run up again, they can take a charge. 1220 is an amazing stat line for 8 wound models. That can't be knocked down while they're all base to base. Super annoying. But the problem is that depending on how Snoop deploys here, he has access to Kiss, he has access to Poison, he has Flank off of the Sasha and Benki, the Cav charge plus Poison. With Kiss, you're starting to get into that average math where like it's pretty good odds that one Cav will kill one Assailer. And if it doesn't, that backup sword, again, when you're 1-for-1ing Assailers, that is not where they want to be. They want to take a lot of your resources to kill them. And then if you don't, and your dice happen to get cold in that moment, that's where Assailers shine. Because now they're just like, smite, get out of here. I'm going to do a whole bunch of damage to you. POW 15, bunch of dice. And yeah, so we're going to the top-down view. Like I said, we see those 2 Assailers on the outskirts of the deployment. They are just going to run up to that flag. That flag placement is going to be, I think, a huge priority for this game. I think whoever controls that top 50 with the flag, I think will be in an amazing position. Mainly because Iris, so interestingly enough, I'm saying this, but we are watching Snoop deploy basically as far away from it as possible. From my guesstimation, he is going to use Aberration to just kind of plug up that area and say, you deal with it. He has fully committed to that is the side where most of my cohorts are going to go. I'm still very curious where he is going to put Sasha and Benki. We are seeing a bit of a symmetrical deployment with what he has available. I think it is very interesting where he put the last watch. I think that might end up biting him in the butt because...
Ready for your AD? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so we're going over to the Black 13th Advanced Deploy.
I'm missing some widgets.
It's really interesting because it looks like both players have kind of seeded the top of the field. And it's really curious as to the counter deploy. We're looking at the advanced deploy on the Dusk side now, and we're going to see what he ends up abusing. Seems to be fiddling with some widgets. We always have all of our little chopskis ready to go. But yes, going back to the last watch. So I'm really curious about his reasoning for the last watch placement. Again, just really everyone is super hard committing to this bottom half of the table. And what's super interesting is that this favors Snoop because he is going to be battling and kind of bum rushing to threaten that cash. Whereas the Maxwell, the Storm Legion player, is going to have to kind of snake over to get to that. Because again, we talked about it. The cash, he who controls the cash controls the universe. And it's one of those great handshake, good sportsmanship, everybody. And we are off. So I'm guessing the Storm Legion player is just going to run up and use Precision Strike.
For failsafe, putting it on the light jack.
We got failsafe on the light jack.
And then she's going to...
Very interesting.
Run her...
Oh, yeah, that answers the question for you, right? So we're just going to be looking for some positioning plays here. That is an extremely aggressive play from Sarah Brisbane, having a 17-point jack attached to that little itty bitty $5 solo.
Does she have
Whew.
precision strike? Or
This man is bolder than I. I'm not sure my Brisbane would leave the deployment zone personally, but hey, maybe it works out for him, you know?
Full bore guy. He's going to full bore guy.
So,
I'm gonna roll it.
especially after casting failsafe, I know that he's not in any real danger this turn, but man, when you're talking about like a 21-inch threat on Stranglehold, like, ooh, that's spooky. So, continuing with this aggressive play, we gotta take up as much board position as possible. We have to. I think it's a very big deal that Tyrus did not get to go first. I don't know if that was a choice or not, but with Tyrus being able to be halfway up the table and threaten the other half of the table, that can be very scary for the opponent. But because Kane got to go first, we're going to be looking at really posting up pretty far up the table. He's really, because that wall is within the kill box, so Kane cannot be behind it and stay safe. We are looking to really abuse it for the supporting cast, putting them in a pretty aggressive spot, but they are relatively safe. Like I said, those assailers are just bum rushing up the table. They are ready to just mess up anything that comes into that area code. And now, because the Kane player got to go first, we're kind of mitigating that limiting threat range on the assailers themselves. They're only speed 5, so they only threat 10. But when the objective is right there, it kind of limits. It's an interesting concept of, yes, I can threat the world, but I only need to threat 3 inches off of your objective. So as long as they can either walk, because their walk threat's a little bit farther, it's usually like about a ½ inch. Sarah has no chill, sir. She is like, get them closer so I can hit them with my lance. But like I said, I thought it was very interesting that Kane did not have Deuce in his battle group. It just seems like I'm really curious if the player ends up getting a lot of work out of failsafe and open fire, but we will have to see. She's kind of in a position now to be able to use open fire next turn. Don't get me wrong, I love me a Deuce that shoots 3 times, but it's not for everybody. So we're seeing those Stormguard take a very aggressive position. In my opinion, I think this is very smart, just because these are kind of the throwaway models. If he wants to throw attacks into them, I think as the Kane player, you're very happy because they're kind of the chaff. But because he's kind of put their chin out, they get to aggressively position, and now they're also the hardest hitting models on those cats. If they can hit, that's going to be the big question mark here. So we're seeing those Stormbanes come up. One of them is going to say Windweaver, probably the most forward one for Kane, to keep him in a safe spot. We're checking that control to Sarah Brisbane to Deuce. We have the mechanics that are walking up, just kind of positioning for next turn. Mechanics are a very interesting choice because he only has the Courser in his battle group. So I'm really curious. Maybe after this weekend, depending on their experience, they might want to swap those points out to something that's just a little more umph. Because if Brisbane is just allocating anyways. Now, see, this is very interesting. Playing very conservatively with the Black 13th. I would think with all of his aggressive positioning that we would be looking at possibly putting them in a even more aggressive spot. To be fair, Watts, who will be the person that activates next turn, is the most forward. But he has the Stormbane bubble. Although Snoop does not really have many guns. So, turn 1, like I said, we're looking at being about halfway up the table. But the kind of takeaway that we talked about before is that he's not particularly threatening the cash.
No matter what,
Doesn't have to yet because he went first. But just something to keep in mind. So yeah, as we can see, he's already thrown down the sticks to check that assailer charge. He definitely wants to stay out of that. Giving him access to a bunch of smites is just a recipe for disaster with this army. It likes to bubble up, and those sailors are going to be kind of a bunker buster. So it's something to really keep in mind. That's a bigger deal that he's checking now, is that I would be very careful at not allowing my opponent to roll dice against me, whether they need high rolls or not. Because every hit from those Storm Guard is going to be a devastating blow to those cats.
10. Okay, so
They kind of stick with their defense stat, and I think what we're going to see this turn is probably a little more of a textbook Tyrus 1 opening, where the cats are going to move up, they're going to be digging in, they're going to throw up their Animus. We're just going to kind of stay out of threat ranges, and this is the power that kind of Tyrus brings to the table. He gets to say, hey, I stay out of your threat ranges, you can't stay out of mine. You can have Deuce, you can have Big Pig, or Warboar, apologies, I'll try to avoid nicknames, and just shoot away, I don't care. I'll be relatively good stats. You shouldn't really kill that much. He can revive whatever he ends up losing, and we just kind of go from there. So we are seeing the pretty typical turn 1. I'm going to pre-measure everything because I don't want to insta-lose the game. Now, a bit of a takeaway here is something to keep in mind. You can look at your opponent and you can say, hey man, what's your threat? And they can give you the charge threat. Always be careful when you don't know, because think about what their walk threat is too. There are some occasions where my opponent doesn't need a charge to really get a lot of oomph out of me. So if we're talking about something like Assailers, they can walk up and get a smite off. So that could knock somebody down, that could slam somebody, that could have a really big impact. So it's something to really keep in mind when you're asking your opponent about what their threat range is. So I don't see it often enough.
I'm pretty sure it's a 7-inch move.
They are very fast. It is a 7.
7-inch move, so 12 inches.
There it
We
is.
have the space, so 6 to here. And then 3 more to here is 9. So intent is just to be just out like that.
Yep.
Very important takeaway right there is that always talk of your intent through with your opponent so that there's no confusion as to what you're doing.
Okay. So something along those lines. Okay.
So saying, hey, I'm out of your threat,
Green
correct, agree,
If he
you're good to go.
feeds and kills
No
the
problem.
model, everything within an inch takes a POW 10.
Ew. Okay.
Like,
That's
it doesn't
gross.
normally come up, but it has mattered against the Assassins.
Everything within an inch.
Yeah.
They are talking through cane feet currently.
Get this.
I mean, that's if he feeds and then shoots and kills the model, yeah.
Okay. Something like that.
So again, very important. The opponent doesn't have to do that. But when you're talking through like, hey, I saw you bunched up there. I don't know if you played against me or not. This is what my feet does. Give a small explanation, and then they can make the decision whether they want to respect it or not. But that's up to the opponent. All you can do is give them information.
Okay.
I will
What is
say
their, mat on a charge?
6.
6.
Calamity
6.
can
Yep.
make them 8.
I see. Okay.
And then if they knock something down, it just sets them up.
Ew. Okay.
See, we're already talking about the
running,
knockdown.
that's
I'm glad I brought that up. So again, these guys are just chaff. They're not really doing anything. They are weapon masters to cohorts. Don't get me wrong. But
I see.
It's 11.
Oh, 11?
Yeah,
it
that's
is a
6
POW
to an inch.
13.
It's 11.
So when we're talking about a 13 weapon master
This is-
charge
this is 11 as well,
with
yeah.
possible calamity, that can be pretty scary.
Just gonna hit up this hill on a run.
So I was going to comment saying that this turn 1 is going along pretty slow, and he's going to need to pick it up because this is, granted, Tyrus games don't last very long typically, but I do foresee you're going to have to accomplish a lot of objectives to win the game.
Intent is to be out, but you're gonna see some cape shenanigans.
That's all good. Yeah, you can use proxy
You heard it here first, folks. Cape shenanigans.
I get the idea.
All right.
Everybody loves hills.
Velas is just going to run 6 into here.
Again, speaking with intention, always very important. These guys are base to base,
Contained seed.
and he even helped him out a little bit with the positioning.
Oh, like physically see
Um,
through your
Like,
models?
or no, like LOS, like Phantom Shot, anything like that?
No, he has Magic Bullet, so if I hit a model and don't kill it, a model within 4 takes a pout 12.
So unfortunately, Maxwell is
it
giving
won't kill
false
them, so it's
information.
okay.
The Black 13th do have Shadow
We're gonna
Fire,
cast
which would
Spell
allow
Reach
them
here.
to see Valus through the
And
cast.
Icy touch, whatever
So
it's
I
called.
hope that doesn't
Or,
come
yeah,
up, but
it's
it
that,
shouldn't.
Ice Heart.
Ice Heart,
Ice
yeah.
Heart. And then we're going to get her away from that scary
Heart of
enemy.
Ice.
She's going to go... What's her run?
She is.
6.
Lanissa
What
is
this?
absolutely running away.
Run for ants. 4 and 1.
Numby, hello. Thanks for joining.
2.
And yeah, that is Kane Storm Legion.
We're going to run our Arc Node.
So we're looking at
So
a
he's just gonna spend 1
still
focus.
pretty
You've got a
aggressive
6.
Lanissa placement.
Plus
He
a
kind of
5.
ran away from a lot of the guns,
Give
but
it
it's
something
very
juicy to chew
difficult
on.
the table to look at
My
eyeballing like
monstrosity
19-ish
apparition,
inches
I'm hoping
from
he
some
can cross
guns.
that
But
wall.
she looks to be in a relatively
So,
safe spot.
with the 10,
I would have
yes,
liked
he
her
can.
better behind the forest and
Just don't
closer
want
to
to
him,
get
just because
bodied on accident.
there's no real reason to risk her at all.
Yep. So he runs full
And
through.
now we are just running up with Aberration. He is pretty fortunate to be able to
He's got
clear that
safe
wall.
focus
I think it
still.
was a very close measurement. But yeah, so that's going to be a real
We're gonna
aggressive
drop,
spot for him to be.
we're gonna just walk Nastilla up. 6
Both of
to
these
here to the
players
wall.
are
Cast
aggressively,
vision
so
at the
aggressively positioning these incredibly
Then,
important
let's see
models.
If I lose on turn 2, we're gonna walk. Actually, hold up.
Whew,
see.
I would say this is a bit of a
Battle game, kind of.
a red flag for
Let's see
me.
what you
I
do.
think that this would be a really scary moment if I was the Kane player. Once he ran that Nastilla, she is a heck of a lot easier to kill than the Aberration. Yes, she
run
has
cats.
cover, but
There's
Whew,
speed 8, so
I
they
would be
can go
looking.
13, I believe.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen each other in almost 5 hours.
Reasonable.
Wow,
Reasonable.
I would never. Yeah. So we're looking at some. One of the things that I'm noticing is he checked the threat range
Intent is to be
on
out. Would you say? Oh, yep, that's
They
definitely
threat
out.
10.
the Assailers.
Is this 10? This looks way longer than 10.
That might be 11. It's 11. Okay,
Yeah.
so definitely
So we
out.
found
This is
out
also like a
that
hard
the players are
instruction
using
I can't
the
get through.
incorrect
I
stick
see.
to measure placement. Funny enough,
sorry.
like I said, so in the Sailor's 5-inch
Okay.
speed, so you'd walk 5, go to
Try and
7,
get something
go to
here.
9.5,
Cool beans.
and then he
Died with
has
string blades
reach.
instantly,
Yeah,
it's
So
pretty cool
that
concept.
walk threat, that
It
11.6 is
is.
actually pretty accurate to be judging what we might be concerned about, which is some walk and
Run
smite.
her, I'm pretty sure 11 as well. To right here. And then if I can run
Yeah,
11,
yeah. You put in the work this weekend. I'm telling you that much. So,
Tyrus, please don't die
um,
turn 1, Tyrus.
Again, looking over this positioning,
Cyrus
as I
is
was
gonna
saying,
go. He's
we
gonna spend
checked the
2 for
charge threat
IR
on
these
the
cats.
Assailers. However, those
These
Storm
cats have
Guard
the snow
are
rift.
definitely in charge range.
Tyrus
So I don't
will
know if he's
go-
trying to bait it,
What
but
is
definitely
Kane's
going to
threat
be a
range?
big
12
takeaway
or
from
10 on the guns?
Maxwell's next
12
turn.
on the guns. Well, let's just not make it easy for
He
you.
also
What is
placed
kill box on
the
this? 10 and
gas
12.
within charge range of the Storm Guard,
Yeah, so
which
guess
I
one.
think
You asked me a question earlier,
if that's
and I
all my
knowing
Storm
the
Guard
was
did,
shorter.
I would be
Oh,
pretty okay with it.
Yeah.
Um,
I could technically like hang a sliver back here and be in kill box. I didn't. We'll say I can't because we agreed on it.
Okay.
I'll do like this. So I can't behind
Yes,
this one in
I
kill box.
believe the wall
We
ended up
measured
getting
the
bumped
12.
because I'm almost positive from their initial measurements
We'll say I can't in
that
case it comes up.
Thank you.
he would be unable to be
I
behind the
don't
wall.
want to give it to you for free. I want Kane to have to come and work for it.
Yeah.
So
If he aims from there, it's pretty.
yeah, and is it 10, right? Or 10 for kill box from the
10
edge?
from the edge. Yeah.
So I just
Yep,
gotta
so they're
tell
just
out
checking
of it.
kill box, making sure not to
I
give
can
any
get hill
free
and cover,
points
right?
to their opponent.
Yeah.
Plus,
Um,
So we will do that. I'm
We're
gonna
looking
go
to
here
try and
for,
see where Tyrus
hill
can be
and
placed.
cover.
Obviously,
And
that
then we're
hill
gonna
is a
get these
very
spear
great
boys
spot.
to just
Tyrus can still
protect
impact
the
everything.
president.
One of the common mistakes that I see with Tyrus players, and again, it's a skill that you can
Down,
kind of
Mr.
build
President.
over time, is that,
Give her some
yes, I have a
presidents
very
too.
aggressive feat, but I want to activate it
Oh, yeah, I
early.
had a feeling.
Now, Tyrus
I
kind of
was
gets
like,
away with this
yeah,
because of the
should
2-inch
Kill there
place.
probably.
Yeah, let's
Um,
not do that. And then these guys are stealth.
I do
Oh, the
not
UA's doing the UA
agree
thing.
with this
Crashing
Guardian
Veil or
placement.
whatever it's
I am
called.
interrupting
Sheena's
myself.
Yeah.
There's only one
Mr.
commentator, and I am
President,
interrupting
please get
myself.
down. Let's
These
see if
Guardians
okay, good. I'm
need
not
to
dumb.
be in shield wall.
Let's
Um,
see.
Kane can see through stealth.
I
I
mean,
understand he
honestly,
doesn't
I
want to be
gotta just give up
shooting
my unit of cats. If I give
shield
up 2
guards,
units, it is
but
what it is.
these guys
I'm gonna go
need to
5
be in
to
shield
here.
wall.
I'm
Otherwise,
going to
you're not really
go,
using all of the
4
rules
to
that they
here,
have
that's
available.
9.
And
we're just
oof,
gonna
I
pray
I
that,
am not a
they don't
fan
get
of this play.
auto-obliterated.
Anyways, like I was saying, Tyrus kind of gets away with this with the 2-inch
Okay, I
place,
think that's everything.
but
You
when
good
you
to go?
want
Yeah.
a caster that wants to feat
All
very
right,
early,
I'll pull my
your
5 from the
Kishtars, your
big pig to the
Sabriths,
little pig.
your Morozovs,
Brisbane catches her
it's
3,
really
I don't know what happened
important
the
to
rest.
think through what your caster is going to be doing on
Oh,
that
Thane.
feat turn. So
She's on.
if
Is
they
it
can
those
feet
one?
and
Oh,
only walk
is
like
it those?
shimmy 1-inch
No,
left or
these
right,
so
like that's
Kane
not
has the
that's
new
not going to be
ones, Brisbane
optimal.
has the old ones, and then
So
the pig
really
uses
make
different
sure that
ones,
you're
so
not
my
blocking in your
shit
caster
doesn't get mixed.
when they want to
I just-
feet,
I
unless you
always
have something
misplace them.
access to
They're
something like
irrelevant. I'm
Tactician
sure
early, or which is
hidden.
obviously
Grab it
some
possible.
people
No,
do.
no, it's okay. I'll just grab more.
Yes, I did
It
know
has
that
no
babies
effect on
can't
my
get
life.
elevation. There is a wonderful chart
She's just gonna
in
go.
the
She's a
tried and
focus 4. She's
true
gonna
War
upkeep
Machine
failsafe on the baby
Discord
jack.
that
Yeah,
somebody
3.
made that shows
Lucy
what
Deuce powers up. Jack powers
everyone
up.
can and cannot get based
Kane
on their base
will
size.
not upkeep Blur.
For like in
He's
melee,
needed
cover,
until my
concealment, stealth,
defense.
all that stuff. It is
24
super
Kane.
helpful. And if you shoot me a DM on
He goes up to
Discord,
6.
I
Puts
can
Kane's
get that
back
over to
here,
you.
and I'll upkeep
Um,
Quagmire.
so,
Putting me to 4.
as we see from
Quagmire on both of them,
I
or
believe it was called
Quagmire
the
is a
God's
knocking
Eye
spell
U.
on
This
Carver,
is
and then
the
Bat Nine
quote-unquote go
Patches is
turn.
a round spell on
We are going
Carver
to
that
see
grants
a
it to
lot of
Big Big
work
Big.
happen
I
this
see,
turn.
okay. And then what Quagmire does is just -2 defense if he's basically.
So we're talking
like
through
later in the game, whenever he
Quagmire.
wants to try to kill a cat, he doesn't have to be.
Yes.
for the fences.
It was
If
it's
it
a
ever
little
comes up, but no
confusing,
reason not to.
and it's in a
Alright,
bunch of different
so
places. So
going
that's why I was very happy
allocate-
that they all kind of collected
I don't think so.
that
I took
information.
mechanics for a reason.
Um,
When Weaver falls off, I'll fish it out in a second. So
So I'm just trying
starting
to
off
listen
with
into what the players are
shocking-
saying right now.
Putting up Precision Strike.
You want a
And-
chair? I'll grab you a chair.
So we're getting the
No, no,
precision
it's
strike out of the
You
way
got my
early. That's smart, so we don't run into a weird positioning problem.
Perfect.
So,
Dreamwork.
since we are going into the
Only
work
has no
turn,
reason not to, so he's gonna Precision Strike and just get in cover on the objective, holding the
yep,
Precision Strike.
we don't have to abuse the wall because we do get cover while within 3, as long as you are a medium-based warrior or smaller, which is his entire list. The only reason I bring that up is sometimes you will see in a Storm Legion Kane list, you'll see Cav, I believe they're called Stormguard Legionnaires, and they would not get cover
Okay, my
from the
mechanics
50
will
or the
go.
40.
This guy's gonna walk to be within 6 of Deuce, placing this guy 2 within 6 of the Corsair.
So we're looking to
One
give
within
out
6 of
a
Deuce.
little bit of free
And
focus.
double power up
Now,
Deuce.
it's a
Single
little
power up
interesting
Corsair.
because the
Okay.
Corsair does not have accumulator.
Stellar team.
So
That'll
that is all the
focus
focus he's going to be getting this turn.
Yeah. Let's see. So.
And
my
so
Brewers
realistically, this
just
is
go
actually a
die
bit
for
of a
the
mistake
cause. God
because
bless.
the mechanic could have gone further
Yes, it
down.
was. Can this
We
guy
could
see
have
him?
given
Let's check.
the second focus to the Courser, and then Deuce would be activating near gun mages and get a free
Yeah,
focus.
looks like you
So
got
we're
it.
actually missing out on a focus that could
Do
be
you
on
know
the
if when a
table.
unit goes
I'm really
through
curious
an
if that's going to
acid,
end
is
up
it only the
having an
moving model?
impact on that
That
Courser
I don't
activation.
know, actually. We could possibly.
It's going to matter if the Corsair is going to be walking up and shooting, or if
With
he's just going to be like a
scenario ter- or,
weird
sorry, with
run and
hazardous
arc node
terrain,
situation.
When if a moving model goes through it, is it only the moving model that gets it, or the
Only
whole
the moving
unit?
model will be corroded. The entire unit will not be
Or it's
corroded.
placed
The
after
only
the
time that
model,
that actually
right?
happens
Okay.
is the
Models in it?
defense,
Okay.
the
Okay.
whatever it's called,
Perfect.
the
Those
fire.
are up. No worries.
That specifically says that when
Let's
a
see. How
unit
does Kane
goes
not
through it,
die?
all of them are on fire. So we're getting our first real judge call of the
How
game.
does Kane not die? That's the infamous
Nope.
question.
I couldn't see if they paused the clock or not. How does Kane not die is always a very good question to ask yourself as a Kane player. Because more times than not, Kane will put his opponent into such an awkward situation that they have to go for it. Now, again, as we go back to this view, I am going to say that looking at that clock, I am not happy. having 44 minutes after your turn 1, I understand you're going against a gun line. You need to be very careful with your positioning, but he positioned very aggressively. So if you're going to position aggressively, you got to have that time advantage going into the gun line saying, hey, you figure it out. Here's my stats. Here's what I'm pushing. So looking at a effectively like an 8-minute turn 1 is pretty rough. Especially with how the shield guards are currently positioned. I don't think that they're defending enough. I think... Hi, Tom. Thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. He dies to a pretty soft breeze. if the wind changes too fast, he just falls over and dies. Yes. So, always viewing the VODs for big events can be super helpful because you watch what the kind of pinnacle of competition is practicing. I will tell you from my own experience, I want to be done deployed 5 minutes. I want to be done.
So,
my turn 1, I want to be like 5-ish minutes. Having those, it is so easy to use your time on the early turns when you need them in the late turns. When you have almost nothing left and you have to try and figure out some Rue Goldberg machine, having those 5 extra minutes at the end of the game can be a godsend.
So like this one's got the front one.
So now, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. I'm glad it immediately came up, where he's like, "Hey, so what can actually shield guard to what?" And if they were a little more aggressive and central, he just has 5 shield guards for basically everybody. And now the king player gets to kind of pick and choose what he's taking away from his opponent. Yes, he has revive, but that revived model isn't going to have any offensive output on that big feat turn for Tyrus. So depending on, I couldn't really see who got what, but it's looking like the cats all the way towards Aberration only have a couple shield guards. Honestly, I think this was a bit of a play because he was exceptionally worried that Nastilla was going to get sniped.
It's also worth noting, Dan, that if it is Kane or the Black 13th doing the killing, then there won't be revived because of headshot.
Boom. That is a huge thing to bring up because that is a tech piece that I don't think enough people think about. And that bubble off of Kane is huge when we're talking about the area of impact. But yeah, so realistically, I feel like all the Kane player is trying to accomplish this turn is take away a little bit of his offensive output to kind of shunt that alpha. We are, in my opinion, I think he should pick up the gas with the Storm Guard. I think you just commit them right now. They are chaff. They have reach. You can put them in a super aggressive spot to the point where Tyrus has to almost feet and back up, which is fine by you. So he's checking a couple of threat ranges off of the Courser. Again, I would be really bummed if that Courser ends up needing that third focus that he did have available to him. And so realistically, what we're looking to do is send those Storm Guard, kill that gas, engage a whole bunch of stuff. But if that is your plan, now we're talking about the fun of playing a gun line. You have order of activation issues. Like so, are we going to go with the Assailers early, just kind of waddle them up to the building and then move the Courser to allow the Warboard to move around? When is Kane going? He does have Precision Strike up, so it's really not that big a deal. Like, it's not like super scary like some other people with order of activations issues. We are debating where Eilish is going to put Puppet Master. And as always, like I said, yes, I do need to get a lot of work done, but tick-tock, that clock is going. And as long as you are proactively thinking and making plans in your head, that is a good use of time. But when we start using 15, 16 minutes on a possible assassination, like, oh, maybe kind of, sort of, I don't know, that's where you're just kind of throwing away that valuable time that you will need later in the game.
So, Dan, I just walked up and took a close look at the table. And in my opinion, I think what the Kane player has available to him here is absolutely the Stormguard charge that you were talking about into the gas. That's easy.
Yeah.
He gets the opportunity to get some additional attacks into Dreadguard Cav
Right.
if they do the job they need to against the gas. Beyond that, I assume that Max has one Legionnaire officer here he can use Precision Strike with.
He did, yes.
So that can allow Warbore to go first. I would obviously do that. Precision Strike model Warbore, if I can have a landing spot walk up, shoot at those Dreadguard Cav behind the gas. I want the Stormguard to charge the gas, and then Kane can walk to the top side of the table, the north side, where all the acid pools and the acid vat are. Should be able to kill 3 Dreadguard Cav without too much difficulty. I assume they have an armor buff on them. I don't think he cares too much. He can play the Bless card. He can feat for it this turn. That would be a great use of his feat. If he removes the gas and 5 or 6 Dreadguard Cav, he's in the driver's seat for the rest of the game. And the best part is Kane can gate crash behind that big vat obstruction and be completely safe. That is a complete shelter from all wind, stiff or otherwise. So you don't need to worry about Kane dying to a stiff freeze over there because it won't be able to touch him.
Yeah, because he's on the beach. There ain't no breeze.
Exactly.
So I think that this is a really big turn for the Kane player. I think that this is kind of when we're talking about the sky is the limit for a gun line, but you need to see it and you need to immediately make the plan and operate because those are going to be a very time-intensive plan. We're talking about a Warbore activation that needs to be correct. So we're already seeing he is diverting from that concept. He is looking at shooting Sasha and Benki, which I think might end up biting him in the butt pretty hard because the defensive stats are very reasonable. Whereas he would be getting the +2 volume fire against the Cav.
Yeah, I just took another look too, and he's got Deuce over there next to Kane.
Yes.
I didn't even notice that the first time I took a peek. So, like, he's got absolutely enough firepower to kill every large base Dreadguard on the table. He may, in fact, be able to afford to shoot at Sasha or Benki. Ideally, I would want to have them removed from dig-in first. There are a variety of ways he could do that, depending on the tools he has available in terms of command cards or what he wants to allocate over there. But shooting at them without that, he needs 10s to hit. It's not a very efficient activation. If he could remove one from dig-in, then he could be killing it trivially with Warbore. So, like, if you have the hit and run card, for instance, when you charge the Stormguard, you could engage them with one of them and then just hit and run him out, right? Like, and all of a sudden, then Warbore can go second and just pick them up, right?
Correct.
Deuce could try to beat them back, and you know, if that's an appropriate allocation of his shots, then Warbore can pick them up and finish them, assuming Deuce hits. Deuce needs 11, so it's not easy. But he's got a lot of options, and the bottom line is, I think as you identified, those Soulless Guardians, the Shield Guardians, need to be in a position where they can protect Snoop's models, and they're not. So it makes it a lot easier for Kane and the rest of his army to do incredible amounts of work at range this turn, and for Kane to be safe after doing so.
I think I'm so surprised that Tyrus did not aggressively go to that wall where Nostilla is to give the Arcane Vortex to both units of Cav to stop the possible calamity plays, and just being that like, oh, I have the armor, I think I'm gonna be okay. Instead, they're kind of sticking their necks out for no reason. They threat so far with the Tyrus feat that again, all you had to do was threaten the objectives and kind of call it a day. Instead, we're looking at a possible huge attrition swing from the Kane player. Now, he still needs to deliver. He still needs to operate, but it's definitely feeling like it's the world is his oyster.
That one shot was a big swing, though.
Yeah. How many does he have left? 6?
6.
So one of the cats has 6 left. I'm really not crazy about this play, just because I really think that Warbore could have aggressively killed 1, maybe 2 Cav, even with the armor buff.
I think I stole one from him.
But
so he's just gonna batten down.
yeah, Carver Ultimus is not in threat, so he can just cast Batten, dump his Fury.
At 5, so I can pull the 5. I won't have a transfer necessary. Okay.
Correct. I agree with that assessment. Is that Carver's not really in any danger. He doesn't really have any weight. He's gonna like reach out and stranglehold him. It's not very good with Batten up.
I'll boost I'm a rat 8.
I'm deaf with the concealment. 16.
16. Oh, he misses. She's going to live. That's
Okay, so
upsetting.
we just saw the courser attempt to shoot the cat again and fail.
That sucks. All right,
So now we've used
so he
quite a bit of
does-
resources, and we haven't really accomplished very much. Linus is going to be able to heal the cat to fully functional, and now maybe he's looking at possibly getting a storm guard on there.
I can't get that. So, okay.
Trying to listen into the players. Sorry, I know that I'm yapping, but
Can just do.
currently thinking through what I'm very curious about is what he's going to do with the top assailers. I think that positioning is going to be exceptionally important.
So,
If he is going to just tow the flag with 1 or 2, or if he is going to full send them.
Do I want to do this yet? What do I have that
Ooh,
helps
he's
him?
debating. It's the big debate.
I could knock him down, but I really can't. I guess I could feed you one of the 13th to potentially.
This is
knock him
definitely a
out.
fork in the road
Well
for the
things,
game.
So I don't think I can slam him out. I knock him down. I kill the ghast. I have a bunch of dudes in your face.
So
Destroy them instantly.
the mechanics have already gone. We have the storm veins. The officer's already gone. I'm very curious if he's going to take an open fire shot with Brisbane. I think he should, because Brisbane is not in threat right now. And it's just a free shot. That cat, the Dreadguard cat, should be in range of Deuce. A lot of hemming and hawing.
So I just need him here. No shield guards on this guy.
No.
So
Nope, he has
this
no
guy
shield
will
guards.
wiggle, placing Ryan, and he'll wiggle more forward, so it's not a completely
What?
illegal placement.
Can you see through that smoke cloud?
Because they have true sight, I can.
So I'm very
And
curious
I'll place
what
Ryan more like
Ryan's going to be doing.
I gotta measure these two. I'm the most egregious 2-inch placer on the planet.
Yeah, it's a little
Here.
always a little interesting.
Still within range.
I did
Just
this
size.
momentum play is very
Him
interesting.
up,
I think
and obviously this is well off
he
his
might be
ranges.
better off. It's going to depend on which unit of cats is part of ice and which one has
Just do the
IR,
momentum
valuable
shot.
resolve, because then they can't be knocked
He has
down.
6 to use on a 7. Cool. He misses his second momentum shot. He
Oh,
hits.
God.
Oh, okay. So
will slam
he
you.
missed the first momentum shot, but he hit the second one.
Is it
So let's see if he slams into
It's
that
1.5
Dreadguard Sire.
because you're larger than
That's
me.
going to be a really big
Oh,
swing.
I see. Okay. I'm not sure how.
Hello,
this is gonna
Eric.
happen.
Thanks for joining.
I think it's just. A
Yeah,
shot,
you get to hear me
right?
yap for
I
the
don't
last
think
2
he's gonna
rounds of the
collide
event.
with anything.
Um,
Um.
of course,
so
he only
one,
rolls
he'd
the
probably
1.
dink off the sire.
That's
Which
hilarious.
will knock
If
them
he
both
rolls a
down.
2 or a
So
3, he gets into that Dreadguard
there,
Sire.
Dink off the sire, knock them both down.
Knock
Okay.
them both down. Into the gas.
Oh,
it's a
okay.
3
I
die,
thought
'cause it's
looking
the
from
same
this
size,
angle,
top
it looks like
12,
it wouldn't have hit,
off
but
5,
I
6,
definitely would have
5,
checked
4,
that.
off 4.
9,
So take 5
but
to the
with
5,
that hitting the
and
Dreadguard
then
Sire,
to the
that
sire,
is a
he's knocked
really
down,
big
and
swing,
takes a pow.
removing
5 to the
Stir the
5,
Blood
5 to
from
5
a
is
army that
Sire
already
takes a
where its
pow.
main
Sire's arm CC.
power
Off
and synergy
4.
is its threat. Again, taking
Okay,
away that offensive
Ryan will shoot
capability.
this cat.
This is what I was talking about early that the Kane player needs to accomplish.
Yeah, I want to though. So I'll shoot the front cap. See how this goes.
okay.
So Dan, what
Cat.
happened there with the confusion from our perspective is that the Sire's lip is overhanging the hill a little bit.
It's brutal
Gotcha.
damage.
It's difficult to see from either camera angle, but basically they go base to base
Gotcha.
because it's not on a solid surface. It's sort of just hanging out over the over
Everybody
space,
loves
right?
hills.
He'll hit.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I think you're right. It's very good target prioritization from Max, at least in terms of choosing some of these key support models that are going to
It's
make
on hit.
Snoop's army much more efficient.
No, it's all good. I'll
On the
take it.
crackback.
He can't-
Like, it makes a big difference, for instance, for Mage Hunter Assassins to charge in a POW, what is it, POW 8 versus POW 10 against Warboar, especially because they have decap baseline. So
Yep.
2 less POW is 4 less damage, right? So
Correct.
it's a huge
Minimum.
blow for sure.
Yeah.
3 back.
Listen. I am a big fan of 3D terrain. All right, flat hills they have their place. But I think that as long I prefer these hills over the ones that actually have a slope. The ones that are flat on top, you don't have to worry about like weeble wobble models on top of them. Yes, the lip is going to be rough, but it'll always be rough. So I think
Yeah,
it's
and
the best of the situation.
Landing at 9 right
This is Terraniac's terrain for these hills, and you also have the nubbins if you have to stand like partially on one of the hills. We call them nubbins. I don't know what they're supposed to be called.
Yeah, there's little rocks.
Where, where you can stand partially on a nubbin and partially on the hill itself. And I agree. Like these hills sort of epitomize what a 3D hill should be like in Warmachine. High enough for it to be clear their elevation, not so high that models are teetering on the precipice of death if they were to fall off,
At all times.
and eminently playable because they're so flat. And in general, I just got to shout out Terraniac's terrain. Their stuff is fantastic for adding three-dimensional beauty to your table while focusing on playable stuff. So if you're looking for some 3D terrain to expand your local play group or just for yourself at home, look at Terraniac's first. And then after that, I'd say supplement your stuff with My Mini Factory obstacles and obstructions because they're pretty. But like use for the backbone of your stuff Terraniac's every day.
Yep. And Connor, I do agree. 2.5 is still the best. If you're looking for like trying to be as accurate as possible, but again, like this hill was right outside of his deployment zone, or I think a little bit in his deployment zone. So it's a little tough to just like start the game and be like, okay, we're going to remove this hill. So it's kind of back and forth depending on how you feel. But yes, I agree. Having a footprint and then the 3D terrain inside of that footprint, I think it's the safest bet if you can accomplish that. Obviously, tournament organizers it's the biggest selfless job in the community because you have to print everything, you have to make it look nice and be identified from the top-down view. So you also have to make it appealing to newer players. Now, back to the game really quick. This is a really big deal because with the gas now knocked down, instead of needing those 7s to hit, he just auto hits and deletes the model. This is a very big deal. What I'm surprised at is that he did not finish off the sire from the looks of it. Craters are a very tough one, I think, as a whole, just because you want to have it try and look correct, but man, is it a nightmare to try and put models inside of them. Very similar to, there was some of the STLs that were released by SFG that look amazing. Like some of the Gravediggers ones had like barbed wire, but it just made it very difficult to play on. So it's always a kind of give and take on. I want this table to be really thematic and really cool, but I also want it to be competitively playable. So yeah, I thought it was a little interesting with the sire already knocked down that he did not just grab a charge on it. He may have rolled it and I missed it, but it would have been kind of funny because he takes away Stir the Blood, but he makes all of the Last Watch angry, and so they would get +2 anyways, but now they have the possibility of getting +4, so I'm really curious if he's going to like take Kane or something like that to just finish off that sire. Also, it's a really easy gate crash target now. Woo, we are an aggressive city over here. Population, these guys.
Killbox is end of 2, right? Killbox is end of 2.
So if this is top of 2. If I'm in my own kill box, nothing happens, right?
Top of 2, Killbox applies.
So he'll score at top of 2.
They are discussing currently the rules on Killbox.
Okay.
I think he is checking that if he was possible for him to gate crash in behind the wall, but that he would not be able to. He can make that choice, but he will be giving his opponent 2 control points by doing so. Again, not a whole lot has happened, and we're at 30 minutes on the clock, so I am getting increasingly concerned.
Go with Kane. Kane's just going to walk his 7 to be here.
Agreed. Again, it depends on the meta. It depends on what's going on, but yes, typically in a tournament format, a lot of those 3D elements end up getting pushed to the side. But again, it's all kind of dealer's choice.
Where's my shit?
So Kane has moved up pretty aggressively, and he is. I know that they were just checking on Killbox, but with this being trench warfare, he can just gate crash back to the objective and have cover and blast resist. So he does have quite a few options. Again, I'm a little surprised if he was going to be aggressive, that he doesn't just take the Dawn Guard Sire that's knocked down up there and just get the free gate crash target, but killing assassins is super valuable, especially with Warbore or just killing a
I'll
cat.
shoot this guy now.
Kane can
That's
do that.
also an option. Yeah.
My second shot.
If anybody's going to just pick up a Duggan, Sasha, or Banky casually, it's Kane.
I mean, he only had like 6 boxes left or something, but still,
Yeah.
you
You're
take
like,
those all
you're
day.
you're def 18. I'm going to shoot a Thunderbolt at you. I need a 9. Now you're not Duggan, and I just pick you up.
3 dice, pow 12.
Yeah,
kills him.
kaboom.
Kaboom!
Is he removed from play?
He is removed from play.
Ah, okay. good
He
to
is
know.
removed
So
from
let me
play.
put
Ah,
stuff
see that
away.
tech coming
On
up.
this side.
So
Okay.
looking at the table, I'm sure
okay.
that the Storm Legion player is feeling pretty good, feeling pretty confident. We have 2 units of cats that are untouched currently, and that is a terrifying place to be.
These guys will go. They're gonna put 2
Um,
in.
I'm gonna
Yeah, the
ask
thing
you
that's
a
going to
question.
kill Kane in this matchup is models getting there in melee, not ranged pressure. So I think that's why he's looking at the wall for a gate crash, is to not get charged.
Right.
I think, honestly, if you can take out those assassins, gate crashing to the camera side of the big twin arc reactor obstruction
Okay.
is a really safe place for Kane,
Yes.
because he's going to need to get something to see Kane or something that can trample or have walkthread over there. And if you're killing it up on that side, that doesn't exist.
Right. So those assailers are towing that acid pool. That's the flag. They are looking to stay just out of range of the aberration. So again, aberration is going to have another turn where he's really not doing too much, and that's really where you want to be.
I'll go with Brisbane.
Yes, he's going to
Brisbane's
spray
gonna
his
open fire Deuce.
Shadowbind gun.
Shoot
Yes, he's going to
this
spray his.
cat.
He's going to shoot his saw catapult. But like,
I might
if
wanna
that's
shield
all
guard
he's
it,
doing
we'll
for a
see.
20-point model,
I hit.
We'll
mint.
shield guard it.
Yeah.
No, removed from play, no, right?
No, removed from play.
Okay, thank you.
But he did kill a model, so he gets to Swift Hunter if he wants.
So we are in the
He'll go
Deuce activation.
2 back to be here.
He is going to Swift Hunter a little bit farther back.
And then Deuce will activate. Deuce will standstill aim.
Yes.
Boost,
I just
shot at him.
That cat?
looking at the overall
Hits,
picture,
decrepitation,
that is a whole lot more
14
cats
off
than we
5.
initially
Yes.
thought. We thought he was going to remove
For
all
9
of them
points of damage.
and then be in a very
Do I get tough
dominating
check?
position.
Please,
Instead, we're
Ion,
kind of
save me.
hoping for
It's out of the
Deuce to
box.
roll
Please,
high
Ion,
and
save
carry
me. No.
carry the team on his back.
Not removed from play, though, right?
Not removed from play, no sir. And then I'm out of range, so I'll Swift Hunter forward to be in range.
This is really awesome.
Reload, do it again.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Deuce
hits.
just kill the world.
9 because I aimed.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then I decrepitation
Where's the 4th dice coming from?
because against undead targets.
Oh,
he
yeah,
gets
powerful
additional-
attacks?
Powerful attacks.
Yeah. So this comes up very often. That
Oh,
you
I
have
was
to be
gonna shield
super
guard.
careful.
Yeah.
So again, I
which,
shield guard again. Yep.
which moves him a measly 5 inches.
Oh, Swift Hunter
Just wants to
plus
move back
Repo.
enough to be
Mint.
outside that.
But again,
14 will
if
throttle me.
knowing that Deuce has those decrep shots, it adds so much more value
Right
to
there.
those shield guards needed to
Very
be
nice.
in that right
Very
spot.
cool.
He would have a cat
Okay.
still. He would have another cat off the black 13
What do I
shot.
have left?
Don't
I
allow your
have
opponent to
my
roll dice
other
on
unit
you.
of
Just say,
sailors,
these are gone.
and they're
I
just
don't
going
care if
to
my guardian's removed from play. That's fine.
run.
I'm going to keep going. And now he's kind of in a rough spot
Here.
with only having a few cats because of dice. So we are taking the bold action of saying, hey, assassins could get to my Warbore. Have some assailers instead. You go ahead. You can kill 1 or 2 of those. That's fine.
Okay.
Um,
I have that. They're
So
down to
now,
Storm
because
Veins.
the gas is gone, the cat is gone, he is now required to either put Tyrus or the other
Graciously
cat.
by my opponent,
Um,
not
I'm
in
sorry,
range.
Sasha or Banky. I can't remember. I can't really
I don't
see,
think so. They only go
identify
13
which
with
one
the-
is
the
alive.
It's cats all the
I'm-
way down.
It's cats all the way
It
down.
is-
So
we place 2.
he needs Sasha or Banky to be on that 50 because he doesn't want to put Tyrus there because that is just right next to Kane. Kane hasn't feeded yet. He will just put Tyrus in the dirt if he needs to.
If he did
But
not get crashed, we would have been
looking at this,
Turbo
dice
dead.
kind of just functioned, but those
Guys,
decrep
we're just-
shots were just killer. He needed to have those shield guards in the right spot.
This is a board state where I think Tyrus is definitely wishing he still had Flashing Blade on his card with all of those Storm Guards sitting there.
So he
Yes,
does
sir.
still,
It's been
if he
time.
kills a
It's
guy,
the
he does
most
get a
it's felt
focus
like
back.
Mark II in years.
But buying one attack instead of just
Oh, man, I'm
lawnmower
coming back this year.
through the world
Yeah.
is a very different
Yes,
situation.
sir. That's
Now, that
everything, I
Assailer
believe.
placement is
Oh,
interesting
no,
because if Tyrus beats,
I'm so gross.
his model still
Yeah,
gets
there's the
ghostly. So
solo-
those
oh, is it
assassins can still go wherever they want. They can still
Oh,
see
yeah.
Warboard to charge him.
Oh, okay.
But he's going to have to deal with those Assailers at some point. And importantly, the Tyrus player suffered pretty big losses on this turn so far.
Yeah.
And he has to first dig out the models engaging him and then choose his targets really critically. Because while Warboard is a huge threat, he may not be the biggest threat on that side of the table. It may be that he needs to focus on killing the Assailers and pick up Warboard the next turn if he can keep pieces in reserve to do it. Because if he commits, say, the Assassins to kill Warboard and Banky or Sasha, whichever one of those idiots is left, he may not have the tools he needs to kill the Assailers on the next turn. And they can do work every turn as well, which is one of the reasons why I would have preferred that Kane really collapse one side of the table to sort of exacerbate that effect. But he kind of split his efforts between the two.
Yes. So if he was more hyper focused, he would be dominating a side as opposed to just in a pretty good spot.
Right.
And the last minute change of oops, I forgot to activate Carver and walking him in front of the wall and effectively dropping Fury was definitely a choice. I don't think he's in any real danger. I just stared for him. That's all.
Yeah, I think Max's biggest issue is going to be clock in this game. Like
Yes.
as you've identified, he spent a ton of time executing his plans. I think he could have done that in 15 to 20 minutes less time than he did. There was a lot of time in the tank just thinking, and that's going to come back to bite him this game. And if Snoop is smart, he's going to try to take advantage of that clock pressure and remove the efficient activation pieces that he has, and just like push the onus back onto Max. And when we're considering that, it might be that it's important to kill Warboard first instead of the Assailers because he's a boosting model with a lot of fury, etc. So he's got a lot to consider, I think.
Yes. So I'm very surprised they didn't kill the Sire either. So he does have access to Stir the Blood. I think he should play Put the Fires Out if he has it. We can check his list really quick.
I really want to get Kiss and
that's the
Stir
Storm
Blood
Legion
on
player.
this unit, or I can Stir the Blood this unit.
He does have Put the Fires Out, so he could put the Fires Out on the Sire, walk over, Stir the Blood the Assassins, beat, get the Assassins onto Warboard or the Assailers. And now we have Last Watch, Stirred Assassins. Tyrus can clean up all the Storm Guards still, even though he doesn't have Flashing Blade. And
I could even get him
even crazier, with the gas dying, they left a perfect spot for Tyrus to go. So he doesn't even need to activate anybody else. So I think we're probably looking at a double revive turn of the things that Nostilla can revive. I think if she does that, she doesn't need to run behind that building. She needs to get completely out of dodge. She cannot afford to be able to be killed.
And then I have a kiss of 10. No,
so what are we looking to kiss? So I'm already disagreeing with this Tyrus placement. I think he needs to come up and be aggressive and just say, I'm going to kill 6 or 5 guys and then full camp.
Looks like he's trying to get kissed onto Warboard. Also, as I'm walking around the game store, just observing random things on the shelf, this one jumped out to me. This Batman slapping Robin. It's a HeroClix model, I guess. I don't know if you can see it on the small screen, but they're really leaning into
they made the memes.
Yeah. Yep.
That's amazing.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
pretty funny.
Wow. That right there that happened on the table is my favorite moment when we play a hyper-focused, hyper-close measurement game, and then some model just flips over and flies 4 inches.
Welcome to Warmachine.
Yep.
If I'm placed 2 inches back,
So,
will be
I
within
think
3
he
of my
just
objective
activated
and
the
still have
sire
hill
and
cover
walked
concealment
away.
on that
I don't know
jazz.
if he stirred or
Does that
not.
make sense?
Yep.
So
Ooh,
technically,
that's
the
leaving a
charge
lot
lane
of
will
damage
look
on the table.
like that, so I think I'm clear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna place Thyrus literally like right
They do have
there.
set defense as well.
They do. Okay, what is that? +2 def?
Yep.
Just on the charge attack.
Yeah,
Right?
just on the charge attack.
What's their armor?
Ooh, I
15.
really disagree with this line of
What's their
thought.
defense on set defense?
I think
15.
he needs the
15?
charge
They're
is fine, but he
15?
needs to get everybody
sir?
engaged, and Tyrus needs to be the one
think
that
walking and
just
slap- what's
goes
their
in and
armor?
clears everybody out.
Oh, walking and slapping is way better. In fact, I can get into a much slicker spot.
Looking
probably.
over,
But then I move back.
they
up
are
to
def
here.
13. They have set defense,
Yeah, I
but
can actually
like
get into a slicker spot then.
Tyrus is a match 7. He needs
So I just
6s
need
to
to
hit.
throw
You're
in
getting
the
a focus back
So,
every
the
time you
furthest
kill
back I can
somebody.
be is here,
So,
which means I can be 2
man,
inches
he.
from here for my feet.
I don't know
Is it
if I
alright
agree with the
if I
kiss
just put
here.
this proxy
He
base
doesn't
here?
have a great blessing
Yeah.
target
Because Tyrus is
to
gonna
really
fall.
take advantage of kiss plus
Okay,
ignoring
so
batten.
If we use the proxy
Um,
base, I'm gonna leave Tyrus where I want him, and we'll use the proxy.
I mean,
as
it
we
helps
walk
the
up and
assassins
do
in a major way,
So, yeah,
particularly if you
that's
could have gotten
within
Stir onto
6.
them.
Yeah,
So
this is kind of an
2
unfortunate turn
inches
of
from
events.
here
I
places
think
me
a major
perfectly
concern
here,
for Snoop is
and I
that,
just move my mouse
correct me if
over.
I'm wrong, I don't think Kane
This is
feeded
the
last
intent.
turn.
He
This is
did
where I
not.
kind of want it.
So if Tyrus is standing up there in the middle of all those
So
Storm
I'm in
Guard,
range of
it's
3 though.
pretty
this
tempting for Kane to walk up and
This
just
is like
say,
the box right here.
I'm low on clock. I don't want to have to
This
think.
angle like
I'm going to
that.
put a lot of gunshots
And
into
I
your
can have a
caster,
little bit
including
more back
Deuce,
if I need.
who also has decrep against Tyrus, right? Like just
All
so
of
much
these
range
Very
output.
big deal.
So we'll also lucky penny
And
because I
he's
feel like
got
this is
Carver
going
right
to
there
be
for
worth it.
Torment.
Yeah,
Like
go
he's got
So
so
I'm gonna swing
much
on the first
output
guy.
that he
What's
can
his
put into
defense?
Tyrus.
I need a
And
6.
I don't think he has a
That's
mage on a
right.
commander, right? So like
Alright,
his
so
shield guards
swing
are
on
the
this next
Guardians.
fella.
Correct.
That's it.
Hit it with a
It's
10.
scary for
I'm
him.
on
So
14,
he
so he
needs
goes
to be
boom.
very careful
I
about
get a focus
exposing
point
Tyrus, or he might
because
be
I
in
have
big
blood
trouble.
boon.
Yeah,
So we'll just go.
I agree.
Whoop.
Um,
Actually, you know
Death
what?
boon.
My apologies. I can't go above my focus value.
yeah,
So I
we,
don't
we
get
did
that
see a
focus
bit of an
point, but
oopsie
now I
there.
will
He
buy
could
an
have just
attack.
boosted the charge.
Just waste lucky penny casually.
You can go over your focus value.
I can.
Yeah, it doesn't say you can.
Yeah. Lucky Penny, you can absolutely go
Okay.
over.
Pretty sure.
So then I'll get in that. I'll spend the focus point I gained on blood boon.
Maybe you can
And
ask the guy.
oh yeah,
The guy.
can
We can ask the guy. It's Brandon. Brandon's the guy. So we're just having a quick judge call. Tom, you
Great.
got,
Okay,
you got
so
a
now
shield
I'm at
guard.
eight
It's just,
focus.
it's
I
just
will
pretty expensive, that's
spend my
all.
blood boon to hit the next guy. We're looking for a 6.
And Connor, yes, it
That
appears that
misses.
it
We will
is
buy an attack.
1 cat from 1 unit and 2
That
cats
misses.
from
We'll
the
buy an
other
attack.
Dreadguard cat unit. Um,
That misses. We'll buy
so,
an
like we
attack.
said, he lost.
Great.
He had some pretty
That
heavy
misses. We'll buy an
losses
attack.
on that first volley of shots.
Reroll.
But again,
even though it was a
something that
5,
you can always kind of take
that
home
misses.
when you're talking about Tyrus is that the world is his oyster.
Wow.
So when we're
That's
thinking about
really
what he's
bad.
trying to accomplish
buy an
this
attack.
turn and what could
I need
have
a
been,
6, guy. Do you hear? That's a
he
6. I missed
can
5 attacks
feet,
in a row.
get everyone out
Hits.
of the
That
way,
guy's kaboom. I'll
move
yeah.
him up. And one of the
Um,
things that unfortunately he does not have in this list is hit and run. So specifically in trench warfare, I know that Brandon mentioned that Kane has a very scary assassination here, but
I can't
because it's
hit-
trench
well,
warfare, he
I
could
can't-
feet,
can you cast
get
a
everyone
spell
out of the way,
while you're in range?
charge
Can you
in,
cast a spell at
kill
someone
those
out of range?
guys, get all his focus back. You can kiss if you want onto
Missing
Warbur,
5
but
attacks is
I don't
really
know
bad
how much it's
on
actually going
that
to help.
6.
I would actually really like to see kiss on the assailers
I
at the bottom.
really
And then
probably
after
need to
all is
kiss
said
this
and
guy,
done, he could
because
hit and
that's
run
the
back
only way I can
into
kill
the
him.
three
These
within
guys,
3 of
what's
the
their armor
40,
without shield
getting
wall?
that
'Cause they
cover,
have
getting that blast resist.
18.
I think he would be in a really great spot,
Dice off 10.
camping like
Dice off
4-ish,
10.
maybe more,
Fine.
and just saying, hey,
Yeah,
I'm
I have
here
the
if you want to come at me.
capitation 4
But
dice, so-
because he doesn't have hit and run, and because he didn't feet move
Which is
everybody out of
average
the
on
way,
4
he
dice.
can't really abuse this current
I
position.
don't want to leave.
Yeah, I think what
Tyrus
Tyrus wants for his Goldilocks position is to be on that hill within range of his 40, so he's plus 6 depth, sitting at what, depth 21? That's enough to give Kane serious difficulty. You still have an option where Kane is like, especially if you have Eilish, I need to hit a rerollable 12 on a Witch Mark to get Calamity onto you, and then
And the arcane
deliver.
vortexes.
Right, I'm still like, again, it depends how much he's camping, right?
Yeah.
But like, you could be there and on like 1 or 2 camp, and he might kill you.
Right.
But if you're in that spot, Tyrus is pretty safe. If you're not, Tyrus is in serious danger.
Correct.
And without hit and run, like he just can't leave that safety bubble. And I don't think that cover is enough. I think Def 19 is still in range where Kane can just kill him potentially with Deuce. It's not easy, but it can happen. Def 21 is just a bridge too far.
Yeah, that's a defense to right home though. Man, that's so cool. We have 17 people watching. Thank you so much for taking your time to check out this event. I think it has been run exceptionally well. I think the Brandon and Cosma have put on a great show, and I'm really stoked that I had the opportunity to hang out with everybody.
You're killing it. You're doing too good a job. We're going to bug you to do them from now on, every time. So congratulations, you've made yourself indispensable.
Looking at this, we have feet. Everyone, feet has been activated. I think a little too late, but that's okay. I think he could just feet initially, but it's fine. It's fine. To each their own. Making sure he's out of that melee range of the assailers, so that this is a great view for the feet because that building was just in the way. So yeah, absolutely, Connor. So we got the assassins. They are getting into position. Everybody has ghostly, remember, so it's a very big deal. And because of Tyrus's giant control range, everyone is typically. This is a very big deal. I'm going to interrupt myself again. Maxwell made sure that the storm guards were base to base with the cats, the Dreadguard Cav, so that when they do their 2-inch move on their feet turn, they are still engaged. It's a very big deal. And this is why, taking 30 steps back, we are so focused on the fact that Tyrus had to clear those guys out so that the rest of his army could function. Now we're looking at Guardians walking up and like making a couple pretty bad attacks. And
so that way it clears up that line.
And again, like he's looking at maybe possibly Guardians charging, but remember they have set defense. So now we're talking about Def 15. I believe Guardians are only Mat 5. I think they went down with the update. Guardians are only Mat 5. They're going to be needing 10s to hit. And then so that one cat that is still alive is going to move up with the feet. Obviously, still an aberration are not affected. It's friendly faction only. Thank goodness.
So we're going to go ahead and go with things that kind of don't matter.
So yes.
This guy is within Snow Reef. Do they have
I'm sorry. No, it appears that that is a fully fleshed out cat unit. I'm having a little difficulties identifying which cat is with which unit. I believe it's 3 and 1. But once the cat moves, we'll be able to identify it.
They just need to be within 3. Does that look good to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
3-inch melee is crazy, ladies and gentlemen.
What's their defense?
This guy specifically is 10, and then the rest would be 12.
Let's hit the 10 guy first.
So let's spin the wheel. We have inserted our token into the slot machine known as Assassins with Decrep.
Okay, oh my God, Jesus. Okay, it's whatchamacallit, 4 dice, right? I need a 14.
Yep, dice off 12.
This is out of the box.
It kills him.
Oh, it does? Perfect.
See ya! So,
this guy's gonna attack the guy who's not
I don't know if he's going to trigger it or not. Because he killed him, he can't go incorporeal.
Thank God I can. All right. 14, right?
Yep.
So we get to spin the slot machine again.
We have 4, 8, 11. What does that look like?
2 damage. Because it's dice off 10. You're an 8 to my 18, right?
Yes.
So 2 damage.
Oh no! He's a 20. He's base to base. No! A sailor!
And
Mr. President!
he is dead as hell.
Sailors have shield wall and it brings them up to 20. But they have chain weapons, so they deny it, bringing it down to 18. My dice math was wrong. God, that's so scary.
Out of my face. That would be.
They were only dice off 10. Oof. Man, that's crazy.
To be out of my face so that I can
yeah, Eric, thank you for correcting.
Objective matters more this round than anything. But Warboar, I can't just let live. But I can't kill him with. These guys are weapon master.
I'm just staying quiet because this conversation's good.
What's his armor?
22.
22 dice off 8. on 4 dice.
Yes, I know that one of the cab
7
was
damage,
RFP'd at
assuming
the
I
top.
can't kill him. Realistically, trying
Chain
to
is a hell of a
just
drug.
clear
I think
this
we're
and
learning more
and
about
get
you,
big
Eric.
makes more sense, but if I get
Deuce got the
banking
other
in
one.
there,
Great, great, great. Thank
power
you so much for keeping me
15,
honest. I know that
no,
it was a decrypt
dice
shot, and they
off
did
7, yeah,
establish that that is
realistically, I
not removed
wanna
from
try and
play
kill these
because
guys.
only
And
gun
Banky
mages
could
hit
do
headshot
it,
with
'cause I
King.
can boost. I just need to make sure I'm within my 12 of my caster, which is right here. Yeah, I think we go with Banky, because then I could snow refoam, and then we'll see what I need to do with the other boys. Okay, so Banky's just going to...
So we are looking at a Banky charge.
Interesting direction, so I can try and cap both of these. So we're going to go 4 inches to like
Yeah,
around...
just make sure you're not out of control.
So we're
yes,
looking at a
thank you.
Banky charge.
Good point.
We're just making sure that
you.
Banky stays in
The issue
control.
is that I won't get Warboard, but
Again,
it's
that
fine.
Lanissa placement was very
Is he still...
No, you're
odd
good. I just-
for
And
this
then
next
intent is
turn.
also be within
Again,
an inch of
full
both,
circle.
so-
We're
Okay,
coming
don't
back
worry
to that
about if,
initial
if you hit the butt kill,
conversation
then
of
push you an inch.
you need to deploy with purpose. Things need to be where they can be effective without having to move. So
what is
because
your
of this
defense minus 2?
restrictive control area
10,
from
so this is in
Lanissa,
charge.
now Banky
Matt
can't
6 or
stretch out
7?
and do what he
Matt
wants to do.
6, so needing a 4?
Okay,
I think
let's
this
see if
is
can
this
get
is what we're
quick
talking about. We're
knockdown.
talking about biting the
Base to
butt.
base. I can't even
Also,
Oh, okay.
TikTok. That clock is at
4.
29
4.
minutes,
Is that minutes?
and he
No,
has
no, that's
activated
exactly what you needed.
a fraction of his
I will-
army.
So POW.
So I think
15,
clock
what
is
am I
going to
looking
be
Off
an
5.
insane
Dice off
pressure
5.
point.
Is this cocked? Do you want me to re-roll that?
It's your call. It's your box.
I'll re-roll it. That's my bad. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay,
What's it
so
be?
dice off 5 is 6 damage.
That's
Is
always
that
funny
the one who's
when we
gained?
talk about like I don't
No,
know,
this one
maybe
was
kind
the-
of sort of same thing. It was
Hit this guy?
Destiny.
Yeah.
Or who'd you hit?
Ideally, it was the dinked one, but I'll let you call it. I didn't declare it.
Yeah, that's fine. You can hit the dink guy.
So we are going through.
I
Okay,
will
so
get
that
my
is Sailor
claws
Sit. So now
attack.
Shield
I
Wall
know
is
it's
gone
pathetic.
because Benki doesn't have chain
Maybe
fangs.
not, 'cause you can just push. Well, what's his defense armor?
Oh
now?
my
18?
god! I know this is not related to
Dice
the
mod.
game, but
I
look
think
at that
buying
little
a
spooky
boost makes more
ghost
sense. No,
next
we
to
take
the
our full attack,
assassin.
'cause I'm
Oh,
base
it's
Looking for a
adorable.
4.
I'm gonna
Gets
have
it,
to ask Snoop where he got that little
power
spooky ghost.
12?
Dice
That's
off
amazing.
6. He's fresh, right?
Yeah. 8.
Well, let's just see what
So
that'll be
looking
3
through
damage.
this,
Push him an
with
inch.
getting the one shot on the assailer on the charge is such a big deal because now he has multiple attacks
He's still
to
within
try
range for his
and
other follow-ups.
kill.
Okay. I will buy an attack.
Oh,
Looking for a 4.
oh man, okay, because of the camera view,
Gets it.
I was waiting
Boosted.
for repulsor. I wasn't sure if he was going to be in range
off.
after the repulsor because
3.
of the melee range on
I think
Benki.
that's a kill.
But okay,
Alright.
great, awesome. So he has completely cleared.
Okay,
that-
so we've cleared that up. We're capping the objective.
That's going to get him. Yep,
We're
that's going to
doing
get him
okay
a scenario
so
point.
far. This is capped as well, technically, by Thyrus.
Yep. I'm still curious if he's
50 is
going to
capped. I just need to start
make an
moving.
attempt. He's making a very big
I mean,
scenario play
realistically,
here.
I think I go for the boar and just see what happens. I set him up anyway with Kiss, but let's see if I can clear this chaff and if cats can get in as well.
I
They
think he's going to have a
ghosts, it's just I
very
want to
difficult time clearing that chaff.
get in there. So yeah, we're gonna. This guy, they all have ghostly, so he's just gonna pop 6 to here.
Okay, very important, very smart. He's just walking.
Drop.
He's not charging,
And then the
so they
girl
will
who
not get
has,
set defense.
Actually, we're
He
just-
does get. It looks to be about 7
This
attacks
guy versus
onto
that guy,
the
what's your
Storm Guard.
defense?
He does need 8s.
13.
Need 8s?
Oh,
Yeah,
please, dice, give it to me.
That's an 8.
that's an 8. There it is.
Power,
My favorite part of
10.
Warmachine.
15.
I
So
need
Dan,
it,
quick.
no problem.
Got him.
Yeah, easy game.
This one right here.
I just
This one.
making a bunch
this
of judge
one,
calls,
for an
and
8.
Ryan McCoy's game has just ended. Exactly what we mentioned earlier. He on bottom of 2 was able to get his opponent's cash
There
and
it
score
is.
5-1, and his opponent couldn't come back. All right, it
Yes.
happens every tournament during trench warfare. It's the biggest concern going first.
Yeah. So again, those at home really always pay attention to what is going on with the cash. What that cash doing? You gotta ask yourself. You know?
What that cash do?
What that cash
In
doing?
this game, do you think that Maxwell did a good enough job protecting his scenario elements? I think it looks like he did.
I think that the aggressive warboard play is
Oh,
really
that is
working
actually
out
kinda
for
rough.
him because of
Is this
the
not still his time to
positioning. He did
shine?
not have the offensive output to be able to punish
I have a
the
2-inch range on
warboard going
Ursula.
up so aggressively. He also has
We're gonna
no
walk
real
her
access to slams
just
to
it.
try and get Warbore off of the cache. So I think Warbore was his best option to try and
Here,
defend
she has
against it.
prosthetic blades
That
for,
being said, oh my god,
boost it.
this is still a placement.
What is
So I will point out, Dan, that his one potential for being able to do that is Abyssal Gate. It's expensive as hell for Tyrus to do it because he's going to have to kiss first.
Yes.
Because Abyssal Gate is POW 12, right? So he's dice off 10. If he kisses, he's dice off 8. Much more reliable. But still, if you fail that, Warbore is there and you just spent all, what, 6 of your focus on this play?
And then you die.
Yeah. But that's an option that he has in terms of being able to score the cache, which frankly maybe was the right call for him to make, because if you make a big scenario lead, then that puts not just scenario pressure, but compounds the clock pressure that Max is throwing out. And I'm sorry for this perspective. No matter where I look, there's a giant overhead fluorescent light. There we go. We found the magic spot. Yeah, no matter what. So, like, if you make that big scenario play, you put Max under a lot of clock pressure. He's already at 25 minutes. If you do it quickly and then clock back and make it really difficult for Max to not lose on scenario without doing a ton of work, that might be your out in this game of Snoop.
I could definitely see that. So that Nastilla placement scares the heck out of me. I just, man, I'm like beelining on. I believe the focus stack is currently behind the Dreadguard Sire and his ridiculous anime cape. I believe that is what we're dealing with at the moment. So looking at the Nastilla placement, I do see that we're covering the cache. The cats are going to go in, and
This is dice
dice off 8. Gotcha.
So Last Watcher going in, they're going to try and do some damage to Warbore. I don't foresee them doing a whole lot. But
nothing.
Yeah. You never want to hear do nothing.
Yikes. Okay, so Blessing and Lucky have been played, so I can't play any more cards.
Oh god, we blew Blessing of the Gods too. Really. Oh no.
So now this unit of cats.
Okay, we're gonna see if chat was right, keeping track of whose cat is this? That's the fun game show we get to play.
So I have a 11-inch charge. I can get to both of these Black 13th. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah, why not? Okay.
Whose cat is this?
So I have 8 plus 3 is 11.
Come on, buddy.
So we're just gonna go right here.
Yep, just place her there.
Be annoying. I'm gonna attack Ryan with the.
There it is.
Attack.
Yep, you guys are right.
Sword.
The center unit is the full strength unit.
15. I need an 8 on 3 dice. That's double 6s, so I'll do it. Power 16.
That just Giga kills her.
Okay.
Yep. Removing the Black 13th is so big. He needed to repo them into a much more safe place. Although at the end of the day,
you need a collective 5.
That'll do it.
Yeah, man, getting 2 of those off of 1 cap is a huge swing in attrition.
Okay.
So, oh no, we hit the acid pool and everybody did a jig. We already knew that Aberration was out of threat on the Assailers, so we don't have to worry about like checking that.
Can make a shot on Watts. Why not? If I'm over here with Abby, do you get any sort of buff from that wall or whatever it is?
No.
Okay.
So, just looking at the table, I would say that I would 100% check that laser line for cover. I think it would be exceptionally difficult for Aberration to not get cover shooting Watts.
Is it in range though? It's 10 inches now.
If any part of your base can cross over that corner, it's exceptionally difficult to avoid cover. So again, this is going to boil down to Snoop getting a pretty large scenario lead. He's scoring the 50. He's scoring. Well, he's not currently scoring his flag. I really hope he activates Lanissa and goes into there and sets her on fire. I hope he doesn't forget, because that would be a really big bummer. Because this has been honestly a pretty great turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan. I think if we look, if you're looking from the table's perspective, it's pretty clear that it's
So yeah, we'll go for it. And you know what,
there's
we'll-
really like
Oh,
Gotcha,
sorry,
gotcha. It was just must have been the diagonal view.
Oh, no,
it's difficult to tell.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely can land.
Yep.
You're good.
And I'm ghosted,
So,
so
Connor,
I'm
you
just
are
gonna-
correct. You
I
cannot
wish you had
score
a
your
landing
own flag.
spot.
I just don't want to give
We're actually
my
using
opponent the
dirty
ability
things
to just
and
run and
trying
score two
repo
if I'm
into
making
other
that
people.
sort of
Was there any
scenario play. There's no real
benefits for me
risk.
being close to- like, what does
Granted,
Quagmire do again if
this
I'm
side
making
is
Your base
pretty
to base attack is
debilitated,
minus 2 defense.
so I don't even
base
think
to
the
base.
Stormbane
And you
can
can't
actually
leave
get to
his
that flag,
combat.
so you're probably
Okay, so we
fine.
won't go base
I
to
just,
base.
I'm always
We'll just
super aware and concerned. It goes cash, then my flag. Those are my concerns, because those are the 2-point swings that can kind of just end the game.
There we go. Okay. So you're
I
still
don't
pissed?
agree with
I just
this
can't roll double
dumping
ones?
into Warbore.
Got it.
If he dices him and
what
kills him,
call
I guess he can grab the
power
cash. But
16
man,
plus
those
2,
cats
18?
threatening
Was
as
that
far
what?
as they do,
4?
I would
four,
really
yeah.
love to
So
get in
let's
on
get it.
Deuce and just
That will
engage
be
him.
5 to the 3.
Dan, what does he have to get it? If you're missing something else?
What was that?
That's also 3 damage.
What does he have to
as
pick it
well.
up for consistency in this deck?
8, right?
I could have sworn that that cat was within threat range of
14
Watts.
plus 12 plus 1, 13 plus 14 is 27. To the so
I thought I
27
missed that
minus
one.
22.
Yeah, so
So
5.
5 to the 2.
All right, so my question was, if he does succeed in killing the Warboard here, what models does he have left that can walk and claim the cash?
Next, Greatsword.
Oh no,
It's
he would
Cav,
have
it
to
doesn't
completely
matter.
dice him with 2 of the cats, and then the last cat
18,
would
so
sacrifice his
4,
action to pick up the cash.
Oh, do they walk over there?
7 to the
I believe they
6.
charged.
Oh, so if they charge, you can't get the cash because the
Yes.
if you charge in your combat action must be spent making attacks.
Okay, cool. I didn't know that. Maybe we can learn stuff.
Off 8.
Dice off 8, so
But with the
3
repo, I
to
think the bigger
4.
deal is being
Got it,
able to.
nice.
Wow,
Okay.
he
Well,
picked up
technically, I was
Warbore.
going down the line.
That's
Probably shouldn't have, but I
crazy.
have repo 3. Let's just fuck.
You know
people
what?
with
Good
data.
for Snoop.
We're gonna get into range of Kane. I know it's a
So,
pistol, and I know.
with this in mind,
I'm not
I
base to
think
base, but we'll just get to right there.
this is
That's all
a
right.
He pulls the card.
super
Down
bad
here.
spot for Kane.
And we're just going to save a cat because we'll keep him on the cash because he can take it. So
So
he went, she went, they went.
Wow.
went.
I'm
went,
speechless.
she did not
That's how
go.
crazy that was for me.
She's going to just roll up to here.
So
Drop
from Connor,
two-
from our viewpoint,
or
it
sorry,
appears that I
one
believe
soothing song, the other.
Tyrus is currently camping one
And
on the
then
hill
I
next
think
to the
that's
40.
everything.
I believe he
There's-
only has 1 shield
Okay.
guard, and that's
Good
even
to
a
know.
maybe.
Yep.
I would
Scoring.
check that.
Oh yeah.
So,
scoring. So I've
Snoop
got
has put
one,
Maxwell
two,
into a
0.
aggressively difficult
Correct.
spot, and
And
I
I'm
think
player 1,
that we are
so-
gonna be going into the tank for a bit to try and get an assassination.
Okay.
I think the cats are in a super annoying spot. Don't get me wrong.
Over to me.
We have Watts. We have Kane.
His focus is like in there. I'm just gonna leave it for a second.
Okay.
I'm just gonna give him a.
Assassination from downtown, indeed. Kane's been riding the bus for 2 hours from downtown up to Manhattan, and now he's gonna just go up and get him a Tyrus.
Sure, I'll do it like this. Brisbane goes up
Um,
to.
So this is
3,
always a really
upkeep
interesting part of the
Quagmire,
game where
Pink.
you've spent all this
Okay, so in
time,
order
you've
to
spent
not
all this
lose
mental
this guy, I'm
energy
gonna
to
score
make sure
2.
that you've squeezed the most out of your army, and now you're on like 18-ish minutes. He's probably on closer to like 15, and
Score 2
your
is
opponent has
you
like
only
30
score
minutes
1.
to just sit there and figure out what's the best way to kill you. You're like, ah, dang it! I was hoping you were gonna use the
None of these
turn
guys
to
are
kind of do
on,
other
so I just
stuff.
have to kill the cat.
I really don't think he should be looking to try and get back into this game.
Just have to
I
kill
think
the
he needs to
cat.
spend as much mental
Maybe
energy as
Corsair
possible
and kill them.
into
Kane could
killing
maybe do
Tyrus.
that.
because his opponent just scored his 40 and both 50s going up
Stop
3-0
scoring with
and contesting everything. He doesn't really have the means to run something and contest his
Corsair
opponent's
powers
40.
up.
And this just has put him in a super awkward spot.
Cool.
I really think, I don't know if he has a wonderful
spell
out
on them?
to try and
Yes. Sorry.
get this
the
done,
bigger unit
but
had the Frost Heart, so if you kill one
With melee.
it's gonna and then this is the one with the IR.
Okay.
now the big question is, you can check, but I don't know if Kane is within 19 of Tyrus. It's a very long distance, but if Kane can't do it, we're looking at like Watts and Deuce alone trying to kill Tyrus. They can do it, but it doesn't feel great.
Okay.
I think the Legionnaire officer needs to tactician, needs to charge a cav,
Save a dude.
get out the way, hopefully kill a cav. We'll see, probably not with the Heart of Ice. Brisbane could actually, man, that's super tough because you want to open fire with Deuce.
Kane's on 6. 3, 5, 1, and 1.
This is a pretty awkward position he's put the Kane player
Mechanics aren't going to do much. This guy's a problem with IR. And then I have to...
Eric, that's a very good point. It may be worthwhile to check now if Tyrus even has... Oh my goodness, that's the UA. That's not even a Guardian. He has no shield guards. You gotta go. You gotta go.
And him.
I just noticed that's the UA is the closest model. That's not a shield guard. Oh my goodness. He has no shield guards. He's got to go for this.
So, Dan, I think from looking at the table that Max does not have to go for Assassination.
Oh, man.
As exciting as that would be, I think that all he has to do is kill as many of these warrior models as he can. Leave Tyrus with Aberration, Nastilla, and maybe Sasha Banky. For enough points to not lose on Snar, which he should be able to do. He can get, if he clears everything on the right side, he can get 2 points from scoring his 40 and the 50 on the right side. The difficult thing is to contest his opponent's 40. But even if he doesn't, his opponent goes up to 4 points. He goes up to 2.
4 to 2, yeah.
And I think he's in the game, right? And then at that point, if he's done enough attrition work, then Tyrus is going to really struggle as long as Max doesn't lose the cash. I think he has the output to kill everything but Aberration and that last cat on Lanissa. And I mean, I don't know where she is. Maybe he can kill Lanissa, but he's got a lot of output. If Tyrus is in range of cover, I don't think it's a good assassination run, even with no shield guards.
Does he have boxes?
He does.
I'm mainly concerned that plan takes 30 minutes.
Okay.
That is the problem, because he spent so much of his clock on the last turn.
Yeah.
If Tyrus is outside of cover, it's difficult for me to tell just eyeballing the table, and I can't go in there and like take a measurement.
Yeah, excuse me, can I just check this real quick? Okay, thank you.
Everybody just, I'm going to pause the clock. Everybody look away. I'm going to measure something. I don't want you to see it, but the chat needs to know, right?
Yep. So, everyone at home, this is why Brandon is the Kane player on my WTC team, and I am not, because I got those itchy trigger fingers, like I can shoot you. And he is a much more patient and controlled player, where he could see that, like, oh, I could just kill these 10 models, and now you can't play the game anymore.
On the objective. Okay, I'm gonna try to get Kane's old focus out.
So we've gone with the Stormbanes.
I did take a closer look, Dan, and again, eyeballing it, I don't think Tyrus is in range of his 40 mil. And I think Kane is probably within 19 of Tyrus. But until one of them decides to measure it, we just won't know for sure.
Yeah. So regardless, the officer has already precision strike and charged and did not one-shot the cat. Carver is going to have a very good chance at killing these guys.
And then be within 2 with his... Oh god, is this Swine Reaper 2? I'm pretty sure it is. Or not the Swine Reaper. Hand of God Almighty is.
That's a very good question. If Tyrus is not within 3 of the objective, he would not have scored the 40. So when we get to that point, we can also check, because the scenario might be incorrect.
Shooting you. No reason not to shoot you, so I'll shoot this guy.
I know there's been, obviously there's a lot of talk of intent and like where he was going to be placed. I don't know if the objective was to have him within 3 of his objective. I use objective twice in the same sentence. That's not a good idea.
1 damage.
But
next one hits.
Oh,
off
boy.
5. 2 damage.
These are both
guns.
shots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He has
he's shooting. I was like, how bad is he rolling to do 2 damage with I am going to pay the weapon the respect that it deserves. How is he only doing 2 damage with the hand of God Almighty? Like, that's just not happening, bro.
6, that should be enough.
So
I'll boost.
he is rolling
Off 4 is
exceptionally poor.
So I take
I'm
D3
alive.
back.
Yep, D3 back. Oh, sorry, out of the box.
This is awful.
3. Okay. Hand of God Almighty into the other dude.
Oh, that was with the claw. Okay.
A 6 will hit because I'm a mat 7.
Awesome.
You're base mat 7
Yeah.
without Quagmire?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a PAL 15. Off 2. That's fine. Take 3 damage.
Oh,
Sprinkle?
man.
Yep.
Rolling an unboosted
Okay.
5.
1 damage.
1 damage. Buy into
That
the Quagmired
sucks.
one. Hit him. 1 damage. So
Oh,
wait,
my
what's your-
God. Rolling an
7,
unboosted
15?
3.
That is 1 damage. Tough
This
check?
is
Or no
brutal.
tough check. Does he have Grievous?
you get a tough, yeah.
Tough. No.
It's okay. So I took that 1 though previously, and then I'll buy into this cat.
Okay. So he's clearing out the cats.
Buy into this cat. Hit off 2. 6.
Tough check. Got it. Spring Blade?
Yep.
2.
2, but he's knocked
Okay.
down because he's not IR'd, so that's fine.
Okay, so he did. It was a
Okay,
little,
so he's knocked down. Chains of free
ham-fisted,
boys,
but
guys fail
he
safe.
did achieve what he set
Um,
out to do. In kind of dealing with the cats a little bit more.
Down. That's good.
Sarah
So-
Brisbane could technically go up and clear out that cat on 1 box. She should be able to with the focus. So, like, if you're looking for an open fire
Violet
play, you can still
goes,
probably accomplish
will.
that. But this is one of
Off
those
where he's
moments when we
at.
look and we see that,
Stay
like,
where he's at. There's
yes,
cast
Maxwell
off 40 behind
was
the
kind
wall.
of boasting a little bit earlier
Okay.
that he got the Swift Hunter and the Repo, so he gets to move 5. But if Juice is in a little
Friendly
more of an
warrior
aggressive
died with
spot,
intent, so they're
the
still
cat was
range.
already
Yep.
going to get to where it needed to. And you can pre-measure to still stay out of range, but still back up a little bit. So now
How do I-
he's in a little bit of an awkward spot where, like, yes, he can walk up and he can shoot, but what is your target prioritization? Like, are we just aiming and shooting the Dreadguard Cav with the Assailers? Like, what is our overall plan here? I'm super curious what's going through his brain, because when you have 50 or 45 minutes in your head, it's really easy to kind of be like, oh, well, I could do this or I could do that. He's got 14 minutes left, and that starts to put a lot of pressure on you mentally to perform. And this is one of those things where, like, we're sitting back. I don't like the peanut gallery too much. I'm a member of the Lagoon Lounge with the cashews. And I just, it's really easy for it to be like, oh, well, he can just do this, and this. And,
This guy's in
what was
Yeah,
the
so-
saying yesterday from
So
Jake? I'm
Kane-
undefeated on commentary. But when you have 13 minutes left, it's a much different beast.
Just wanted to jump in to agree that cashews are the best nut. That's all.
There it is. There it is.
Objective?
Yeah.
That was kind of the intent, but if
So-
I'm out.
Oh, Connor, I'm so sorry that you are also a member of the
yeah.
Cursed Dice Society.
Judge,
Oh, I think we have a judge call.
Vanessa within 3 of that objective.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk about it?
We
No,
did not
I did
talk
not.
about
That
it.
was my brain intent, but it wasn't. So here's a 3.
Or
I did not
a
talk
thin or
about it.
3 if it matters.
Yeah.
so. Brandon goes from commentator to judge at the drop of a hat. What a guy! So they are currently discussing whether Lanissa is within 3
Yeah, it's
of
gonna be
the
close.
objective, and this feels like a very close measurement. We're building the drama. Ooh, what could it be? So
It's gonna be real close.
if this
I think
is
it's gonna be
happening
maybe like a
now,
millimeter or 2
I just
out
want to
from
point
the
out really
base.
quick, just for my personal perspective,
Yeah,
we don't
this
need
is
to
what I
care
was
about
saying,
that if we're just killing Tyrus. But
Parallax, I just moved it.
Oh.
He was definitely in.
Yeah, he's definitely in. Yeah.
But parallax is like a lot of the problems in this game. Is like
Holding
Yeah.
it overhead is like it's all like
True.
they're within 3,
True,
but I
true,
think
true,
I think
true.
he's definitely in.
Yeah, he was definitely in. That was talked about intent for sure.
yeah, Tom, one of my one of my games at WTC
Yeah, I think it's gonna
last
be out
year.
by a couple
I
millimeters,
had
if I'm honest.
3 seconds and my opponent clocked
Yeah.
out. So, again,
Yeah, it's my
it's
bad.
those things. I hate to sound like a broken record, but like that amount of time you have at the beginning is so valuable when it actually matters. We're getting some of the steppers out to kind of place the proxy base and make the measurement a bit easier.
Ooh.
She's just out.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Damn.
so close.
It's all right.
Sorry, man.
No, it's okay.
So she is just out
fine. Okay,
again.
well, let's
It
see.
is
Stability
so
would be me.
important. I'm glad that we're
Not to
talking about
watch
these
the
concepts earlier in the
handsome
game,
dudes
and then
roll
they're
10 and blow
coming
them
up
apart.
in the game that we talked about. Intent is so important.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to run Lanissa. She is
So,
going to be
Kane
within
will stay
3
where
of
he's
the
at, thanks. He
objective.
doesn't have to go any further
Objectives
to
get
deal with
bumped,
Vanessa.
things happen,
He will shoot.
whatever. But if we
This
talked
one
about it,
doesn't have
because that
cover.
was the first question
the
that
one
Brandon
not covered.
asked.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
did you
don't
guys
think
talk
this one
about
might
it?
have
They
cover,
said
so
no.
I'll shoot the one that's not in cover.
Okay. Def
Um,
14. So don't
need a
roll.
5.
Yeah.
He
Got him.
hits.
He's this guy, right?
Yeah, but before you, it's fine.
Oh, sorry.
Everything within an inch takes a POW 10, which is just the other
Oh, you're
guy.
feeding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, feeding. Yeah. As well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then, I think that's only the other dude.
Yeah, it's
who's
only
in
the-
The only
Yeah,
other
it's
dude.
only
Yep,
the
yep.
other guy.
He's right.
So just don't
It's
roll,
POW 10, so it's going to
double
auto
ones, I
kill.
think.
Yeah, I kill. Yeah.
Yeah, he kaboom.
Okay.
Well, is it? He's incorporeal though, so does that matter?
No,
against your
this
feet?
one was incorporeal from killing this guy. This dude didn't kill him.
Oh,
That is
And it's also a
Incorrect.
magical blast.
Oh
so
yeah,
it does
we
catch
good.
the
We
guy.
good. We good.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I think they each killed a model.
Then he will shoot this cat who's knocked down.
Communicate your intent.
from,
Tom, that's a
POW
very good point.
14. Hit.
Also, for our
Heart
listeners at home,
Seeker.
I am going to check this
If I'm
right
knocked out,
now.
let engage. Doesn't it?
So we're just going to
I have
hop over to
pistol
Kane
as
really
well.
quick.
Pistol. Oh, okay. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. The
That's
feat
a
is
POW
actually a
21, no
magical
tough
blast
kills
damage
him.
roll, so it wouldn't have mattered whether they were a
Right.
ghost or not.
And then
Good to know.
I'll shoot
Makes sense because his gun's already magical, but we check anyways.
this cat.
So
reload.
Kane is just, so he starts blasting.
Hits.
This cat?
Yeah, he's not engaged, is he? He's only 1 inch reach.
Correct.
Okay, so hitting him.
Oh!
with 8.
There it
Heart
is.
Seeker, it's a POW 14 now. So off.
Oh, I saw my spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Off 5 is 4 damage.
4. Gotcha.
Reload.
So
Him.
Kane is still
Hits.
blasting the Dreadguard
Off,
Cav at the bottom.
4 is a kill. No tough.
No tough. Gotcha. Remove from.
Removed from play because of headshot,
Reload.
but I believe I picked up my head like I can
1,
see.
2, 3, 4. So that's.
I
so
believe
this is
that is all the
so I'm up to
Dreadguard
POW
Cav.
16
Um,
until this one
So
hits.
now
So I'll shoot the cat.
my big
Need a
question
5.
is, how are we
can
going to
you
be
see
dealing with
Yeah,
these
'cause
last
he's larger
watch?
than these models.
He does have a gate crasher regardless, so he can get to a
Crash one
better
more time.
position.
This model is larger than these models, so Kane can see this model, correct?
Okay. Cool beans.
Right. He hits.
So we were
It's
just
POW
talking about some
16,
line
so
of
straight
sight.
Dice.
Yep.
Is 11 to the yeah. I forgot. He's a
Yeah.
not other cat.
Unfortunately, I do not have control over the camera.
11?
I am but a mere commentator in this
him.
studio.
Hits. POW 17 is +1. Is
Cool.
12 to the 4.
That's a
so
lot of
4.
damage. Yes, so as we can see
Now,
now,
double ones would be
all of the
fantastic.
Dread
Reload
Cav
into
are
him.
dead on the bottom.
Hits.
Um,
Dice +2 just kills him.
Yeah, he's dead. He kabooms.
Okay. I have 2 left.
Oh, hey, Benki
RFD.
just died. That's a big
Oh,
deal.
that's where they went.
So
Okay.
now
I'll leave those
currently,
two.
no one is contesting the 50, so he can
Let's see,
run,
I'll reload-
but he'll
I'll-
probably
so I'll reload
charge
again.
with the
Hit a 2
courser.
sword lady.
to get to
You're
that
a
50 and
15,
score it.
76.
I
I'll
do
hit.
see that
It's a
the
POW. I've shot.
the quality of this camera has kind of dropped off a little bit.
I've
I'm not
shot
sure what's
7
causing that.
times.
But
This is a POW 19.
regardless,
Armor.
the shapes that we can see.
+1, only for 5 damage.
On Vera 1, 2.
I'm still very
3,
curious
4,
what
5. Are you up to
Deuce's
shots?
activation
I
is
have
going
one
to
more
look
shot.
like.
Should I reload?
How many shots did you shoot already? Because it was. This was 1 shot.
1, 2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7,
7.
8, and I get 9 with a lucky penny.
I see. Okay. Got it.
All right, so shooting him.
Oh,
hits,
trying to autofocus and
dice
failing. That's very
+2,
interesting.
No location.
So
kills
just the
Got it.
casual
No
9-shot
sword
Kane
dice
activation,
gone.
no
I
big
took a
deal.
crash.
Mimicking the 9 minutes that he has remaining
Gate
on his
crash.
clock. So we are going to gate
Outside of
crash
kill box,
and hope that
which is 10
the
inches on
no
this table.
focus cane with cover and blast
So I'll
resist
go all
doesn't
back.
die. I
Alright.
think that gate crash was a bit too
What's the gate
far.
crash distance?
5 inches.
But-
I'll put it more.
There we go. Yep, immediately
You are
said by his
not
opponent,
lying.
like, I don't know about that
Sorry
one.
about that.
Um,
He's range 2 on his sword. I have 8 minutes, and I have to score 1-2. I can stop you there, so you'll score 1, and I'll score 1-2, which means it'll be 2-4. I don't lose the game automatically.
all I'm saying is, folks, is that
solo mechanics induce.
chips on the table. He just
Tyrus
killed
threat
him.
how far?
Doesn't matter how much time you got in
Yeah.
the clock if the caster's dead. Because if he's not,
6
your
to
caster's
9
dead.
plus 2, 11.
So he travels 9 though.
Yep.
Travels 9.
I also have a spell to do some shenanigans.
Yeah, with
though.
like Abyssal Gate.
Correct.
Yeah, that's okay. Can't handle that. Okay. This guy was
man,
Windweavered.
TikTok, bro. You got it. You got to
With
go.
him.
You got to move. Whatever you're doing.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Again, super curious what Deuce is going to do. Is he going to come up and shoot the last watch
Okay,
now?
6 plus.
Are we activating the
I have
assailers?
and blessings, so this guy.
Very interesting.
All right. Let's see how this goes. So this dude moves 3, and then 3, and then 2. So he'll walk to here. Placing a guy here within 3.
Okay, so we're contesting the 50
Only
with the
this guy was within
assailers.
1
This
inch of
is
the cap,
fine.
So I'll place one guy there, and the other guy here.
Ooh, yeah. You want to put them all together.
Right.
Doesn't have any chain weapons left.
So I get 2 attacks here, 1 into the aberration.
Can they be beat back? Well, if they're triangled, no. But,
No, yeah.
but they're technically not triangled. This guy's not in the triangle.
But he's like pinned between this wall and this guy, so he couldn't get pushed in.
That's not a wall.
This guy's gonna take a punch into the cat.
That
Okay.
clock, though.
13,
So,
13.
Eric, I
15,
completely agree. I
power 4.
love me some assailer
Is 4
charges.
damage?
These are not charges.
other
Unfortunately,
guy
they
other
did
guy
not
punching
choose
him.
to clear off the
takes 3
assailer
damage.
from the Dreadguard Cav.
All right.
Um,
3 on C. The other guy misses. That's okay. And then this guy's gonna punch the aberration. Anything
Oof.
but he's gonna do StarTech Smite.
This is a
this
really
good?
rough assailer activation.
Or should I go for this cat? Yeah, go into the aberration.
He's really not
Hits the
accomplishing
aberration,
anything.
Smites him.
Half distance.
2.5.
2.5. He will not. Well, he'll just clip into the objective because he can't stand on top of it.
Wait. Judge. Again, we're the worst table ever.
No, it's all right. Movement's
That's all
important.
Smiting, aberration, 2.5 inches. He'll land on the objective. Does he just bump it and stop, or does it do like least disturbance? Into
Yeah.
cash.
So they're currently talking about what happens when an 80 mil ends up on the cache. And what's going to happen is that because
Takes him off.
he is landing there, he is going to stop
Okay.
And I
because he
will
would be
get,
on top
what
of
do
the
you
cache
hit
and then he would move
Power
back
15,
forward.
Dice off 1. Dice off 2. No.
Oh, so I don't get focus. Okay.
All right. This guy takes 3. Continue my clock. Oh, my bad.
Why did we pause the clock?
All right,
Yeah, that was silly.
He will go 3.
It was a judge call. And
No,
then just-
you're fine. He
shooting
paused it
with a
again.
Shot.
Mhm.
He hits.
He said he takes 3 on his assailer and paused the clock.
Kills him.
Do I?
But
get
So
do get a
again,
check.
I'm really not happy about that assailer activation. I think he had like so much more that he could have done. Like, yeah, that's great that Watts killed
Right.
that
Deuce
that Dreadguard Cav.
will-
I believe his flag is only.
So, oh, well, now mechanics.
Yeah,
gone,
okay,
so
he's
this
over
is only
there.
get 2,
They
need to go.
TikTok, he's got 5 minutes
those
left. This
2.
is rough. I believe Kane is currently scoring his 40.
Let's see, so,
That is the trench warfare flag.
what does Deuce need to do? These mechanics kind of have to get out of the way.
So again, scenario's been kind of dead a
Deuce
little
is gonna
bit.
go.
They have been scoring
Deuce is
a
gonna
whole
walk
lot, but so
here.
with this in mind, he has
He within 12 of this guy.
achieved his
He'll
objective
shoot him with a
of
boost.
I'm going to contest the 50. You can get
It's
your
not
40.
I don't
I'm going to score my 40
he hits
and
with a
my
16.
50
It's a PAL 14.
with my
so off
courser.
4.
He's just going to charge or run or whatever he has to do.
For a what is that?
Um,
That's 7.
Dice off 4?
4. This is a 13.
So 13 minus 4 is 9.
9.
So he's dead.
He's dead.
This one right
Yep,
here?
Yep.
Math is hard, folks.
And then he'll Swift Hunter here. Brisbane will go.
Oh, I should have Threads of Life on the hit. My bad. Sorry, I wasn't paying
I
attention.
forgot about Thursday this whole time.
I wasn't paying attention. That's my bad.
Brisbane goes.
So now we are open
dude,
firing.
shoot the last guy.
This one I will Threads of Life.
This will hit.
Can I Threads of Life, though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to Threads of Life onto Valus.
You should absolutely clock
Please
over.
kill Valus.
You have 4 minutes left.
Damn it.
Ugh.
Right. Then I'll go with these and then she will stay where she's at. And then go with these guys. They'll run to be here, forming.
So we're running to
Urcaen wall.
uh,
And then I'm gonna
kind
go
of
with this
block
guy,
line of
he's gonna
sight
run
for
here, just within 3.
Kane, so he doesn't get a free charge.
And then
That
nothing
last member of
else,
the last
so
watch
that's
is very
gonna
angry.
pause,
Okay, score.
With Righteous Fury.
I believe I only cap 1.
and I'll get 2.
Okay, so
Yep.
4 to 2.
So Scenario is alive. Again, I really don't think that Tyrus needs to think that much. His opponent's on 3 minutes. Just push.
Yeah, he's correct.
Just
I forgot. Yeah, we moved.
Come up. Aberration kills a bunch of assailers.
Not corroded yet.
Score that. You really only need
I
to
think
kill
these two
one.
are corroded, so
Score
I'll
that
take the
50.
2. I forgot.
Um,
I moved it and totally forgot. Yep.
Yep. Put the
Hi,
fires
Jamie.
out
Thanks for
on
joining. Really appreciate you
Giving
watching.
him 1 focus from
Um,
Scylla, upkeeping.
So, yeah, I really
He
think
gets
that
everything. Cool
Snoop
beans,
needs
cool
to just
beans.
push. He can
Distance
take
is gonna just
the
emerge from the wall. And
Tyrus
try and
effectively
kiss
needs to
this unit.
do very little.
What is
Um,
their defense?
He needs to just contest,
16.
push, score a couple points. So like Tyrus scoring the 40,
Damn.
Aberration
Okay,
walking
that's bad.
over and
So I'm
killing the
gonna
assailer and scoring the 50,
to kiss?
putting his opponent just in a really rough spot.
What's his
If he
defense?
wants to, it is a
15?
choice.
Oh, Jesus
He
Christ.
can say,
I mean, honestly, it's better to
no, it's an
spell slave and just
unnecessary risk.
kinda
I was going to say he
kaboom
could
that
dice
guy.
Watts,
Try and
run
hit a,
Scylla to the
what,
flag,
9 kiss?
but
You got
not
You're
worth it.
15, right?
I'm a 12 up to 16. 'cause I
Correct,
Oh,
Tom.
16.
Just
I
make
know.
him scramble,
Cheating.
say I'm on
Okay,
full camp
thanks,
in
God.
cover on a
Jesus,
hill.
Either or.
You
Nope.
can't kill me.
So that doesn't work.
And
Okay.
just say go.
I mean, we're gonna go with Nastilla. She's gonna be a coward. Go behind here. Actually, I lied. She can't cap 40s, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, she's gonna go back here. What is the range of to make Aberration mad? Let's find out before I
I
make
believe
a
it's
mistake.
6.
I'm pretty sure it's 6. Yep.
There it is.
5 for combat drugs. So we're just gonna make him upset. So he
So,
comes for free.
Yep.
Abby's
We are
gonna
souping up
go to a spot
Aberration.
where he is intent is 3 inches. You have repulsors, correct?
Yep.
I want to get right there, if that's cool.
Yep.
Clock is a win
Intent
condition
is
and something
to
that people
be-
need to look at all the time.
I can't
But
technically
you don't want to
do
put
it.
yourself into a situation.
So yeah, we're gonna go like this actually.
And again, Tom, Johnny on the spot right there,
Just like a
where we're
millimeter.
talking
Okay,
about intent.
So there's a millimeter between Abby and this guy, but I'm in.
Yep.
If you push me back, it's an inch straight back, right?
Yep.
So would I be in if I'm an inch back?
I think this
Yes.
is a
In fact, I'm
waste of
even more
time.
in. Does that make sense?
if I'm
That
being
still
honest.
matters? Okay.
Realistically,
So we're just gonna pop
just
him
get
right
within
there.
an inch of the objective.
Charging
hit him,
this
Inch
guy.
back
kill
from
him.
This guy, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but the intent looks
Yeah.
good. Cool. All right. Charging for free. I'm gonna go with what's your defense?
12.
What I really think you
12.
wanted there was
Matt
you want to
6
be
with how I've
within
been
the
rolling.
50, contesting the cash
What's your
with
armor without
Aberration,
showball?
and
'Cause
he
I'm
could
gonna
do
kill someone
that
in the middle
while
and they
still
won't have
killing the
anything.
one assailer he needed to kill.
18.
And again, he only has 15
Let's
minutes
go
left.
with the
That's not a lot of
Tenderizer
time.
for beatback.
Like, guys, this is bottom of
Okay.
3.
I'm at 8s, so I'm looking for 4s.
Yep.
Got it. I'm charged, so POW 19. What am I looking
Correct.
at? Off
Over-engineering the
one? That's off
activation.
1, please. I think that kills with a 9.
This guy?
Yep. Do you get a repulse me when you're dead or no? Okay. I'm going
So now
to
he's putting himself in a
the
really
dude-
awkward spot where he might not be able to score the 50.
Actually, no, because you can push me that way, and then I'm
There
out
it
there.
is.
Let's attack the fella in the
So
front.
now he needs to
So I have
one-shot.
to kill them in order to...
Yep.
Let's go with the hydraulic shears.
See that this
Looking
he
for
put himself in a
fours,
really awkward
and
position.
then potentially a decap. Got the hit. I will boost the damage. It's power 17. What am I looking at without shield wall? Off 1.
So it needs a 9.
That will kill him as well, I believe.
Oh,
Yep.
he lucked out pretty heavily. He does have beat back, so like he
those
can
were my
position
reach
himself
weapons.
back, but like there's just
We're
no
gonna
reason to
use
even
it
risk
last.
anything.
Can I target?
No, because you were in melee, because we're both 2-inch.
Cool. I will saw. You can't saw. You can't push me back on the gun, right?
No.
I'm gonna just adhesive blast. I'm at 6.
Okay,
Let's
so
see.
we're just
It's
throwing
in
some dice at the
box.
wall.
Well, I think I would miss anyway. Doesn't matter. I will just try and saw catapult him.
Yep.
I'm rat 6. What is your defense?
It's 12.
12.
So I'm not sure. He rolled a 7.
This is a power 14.
Off 4.
Dice off 4.
Aberration is rat 4, so he would miss. The
Dice off 4.
the adhesive blaster
That'll
does
be
have
2 damage.
So he would ignore. I'm sorry, his pistol.
We're
So he would
going
ignore
to
the
buy
in
an
melee
attack
bonus.
with the tenderizer, so I can beat back.
If you
And-
kill him, he won't be back.
Okay, that's fine. Buy an attack with the tenderizer, leaving him on 1 focus. Hits, boosting it.
Yep.
Dice off. No, it's dice plus 1, correct?
Yep.
I think that got some.
Yep.
Okay, cool beans.
So we have achieved the first objective.
Fabian, still a
Dice
gun.
kind of bailed him out a little bit, but
I need to try and kill this fella.
Eric, back in my day, we used to
Direct,
play
but
to
then I
turn
just died
7.
A clap back from Kane.
Not anymore. Not in Mark 4, baby.
We'll go with
so
this big fella.
the first objective has been
He's
completed.
going to-
We
he's got
have
a 6,
gotten
so
the
he can go
50,
9
so he is keeping his
inches. He's got 2
scenario
inches, he
lead
can shoot
alive.
Yeah. So yeah, double check that for me. He has reach.
Yeah, you're good.
So he's gonna.
Stuttgart Sire is gonna probably stir himself.
Corsair.
Yep.
9 inches.
We're going
like
to charge that
this.
Corsair because we achieve multiple objectives with
What's
that
your
at
defense?
that point.
13.
Def 13. You don't stay. Needing a 6. That's not a dice. That's a position dice. Needing a 6. Got on double 6s. Power 14 weapon massa. What's your armor?
The Sire is taking a page out of the Orgoth book of I'm a support model, so that must mean I'm a weapon
4
master.
damage to the 1.
Okay.
Hand cannon. See if I hit. I do. Double 6s again. POW 12. So dice off what? 6?
Just roll 6s, folks. It's fine.
That'll be 6 to the 4. Jesus Christ, this guy with the Glock.
This guy with the Glock.
Lisana will go ahead and also charge this Corsair.
So this is I think the
Yeah,
more
I think it goes
reasonable.
this way.
Yeah, I have reach, so it shouldn't be a big deal. Actually, I think I can just go into his face.
Okay.
So it's a 9-inch charge. I'm pretty sure I'm good. Gonna go here. Charging is free. What's your defense again?
So this is the much more reasonable
at
charge, I
6.
think,
Watch
to
this one.
clear out the
Because
Corsair. I
I'm
think the
pretty
Sire was just kind of gravy for
That'll
like
hit
free
on a 9 plus
damage.
6, a crit freeze. It's weapon master.
Eric can confirm that
dice,
that the measurement
power
of wins
11,
will
offset
progressively
plus
go
7.
up with the number of 6s that you roll.
Oh boy. Okay, 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 6 is 13 to the 5.
Numby. Be like, all right, all you need to do is
attack,
run at my
boost
opponent.
it.
Still takes 19 minutes. What
Looking
happened?
For the crit freeze. Doesn't get the crit freeze, but it hits, boosting the damage. Dice off 7. How much are you on?
3.
You're 10.
5 damage to the 3. Pop them off.
Gets him. So at this point, because his dice have been really cooperative,
Don't want to give you
it's
free
really
charge on
important to
Tyrus,
not get greedy.
which you don't have.
Technically, he could run Tyrus to his 50, to the Storm Legion player's 50, and move the Guardians back. Unfortunately, that would take him away from the hill and only give him cover, which we talked about could cause him to die.
So that way you don't cap this objective. I'll be
Granted, he
3
is
of
on
7
full camp.
tier 2, and I don't think you can catch
This
up
is the
with
kind of stuff that we've been talking about this
I
whole
believe that
time.
is the truth. Yeah, no, I don't think you can catch up if I do that. So I'm gonna run these dudes, the one guy on the cloud. So I'm 11. So I'm gonna go.
This is very important that he's
5, 6
identifying
to
this
here.
now and saying,
5
no,
damage.
I'm not going to get greedy.
gonna
I'm
try
just
and
going to
cap
contest your objectives.
both.
It's
I'm just
effectively
trying
the
to do as
same
much problems to you
as.
as possible. So I'm contesting this.
Yeah, no,
I'm
no.
gonna drop
So,
one to
Eric,
be
what I was
not in
mentioning
Kane's
was if he
melee,
ran
but
to
you're in my
score the
melee.
50, the way that the building is, it would be a
Oh,
very
no
possible
pistol
for him to
range.
still get
No
covered.
pistol range. We're gonna put one.
He wouldn't have
here, you don't
blast
need, so I
resist,
have
but he would get cover from the building.
It's
What?
fine. Go ahead. Go. Do your thing.
I'm just gonna put one on the cash. Doesn't really matter because she's blocking my cash. We'll put the knife girl right there.
So he's just running. He is contesting the 40.
I don't want
So we're stopping that score.
That's easy though.
Again, a lot of fiddling. A lot.
this
You
is
got
gonna tell
9
you
minutes left. You gotta move.
I want more clock than you. Valus. I'm gonna light himself on fire. Please pop out, Senpai Valus. So Valus lights himself on fire. Done. He has not gone, and he is upset.
We got the last watch that's super angry.
Just kill some storm veins. These guys are just
So we are looking through currently what is the out for Kane. Kane, you've kind of taken away the assassination currently. You can't score the flag to come back in because Valus is in there now. He could have possibly run the Storm Vein because that was an angle that we can do. Deuce and Kane could walk up and try to kill Nastilla at this point. It is dicey. It's not great. But if he gets those dice to cooperate, that could remove Nastilla, remove Aberration. You can walk the Storm Veins, score the cash, get those 2 points. Use the mechanics to contest the 50. Use Warboard to clear out your cash and kind of just sit there looking pretty because he's running out of models too. These are the things that are kind of going through my brain while my opponent is finishing their turn. I believe Vision is currently on Aberration.
Does that sound good?
3 minutes though, correct. So the things that I'm talking about.
So 6 and 2.
He needs to have that huge swing turn.
I just like to track it just in case. And one of the dudes is corroded. My apologies. So it's the dude who's in the middle. Corrosion check on Watts.
Takes one. Cool. Okay. Carver will put out the fires, so he's not stationary. He goes up to 4. He will not keep Quagmire. He'll cut himself for 4. Can he? Yep, he'll be on 2. Cut himself for 5.
Okay,
and 1.
so again, 3 minutes. This turn's got to
Kane
move.
goes up to 6. Brisbane goes up to 4. She's going to allocate 2 to Deuce.
You cannot spend time thinking.
All right, go with Storm Legion Officer. He's going to punch this guy, hitting a 5. Hits. It's POW 14. Kills him.
This one?
Yeah, Electroleaps into this guy.
Yeah, boxes.
Okay. Power is 10, so off 3, 2 damage.
Got it.
He'll shoot this guy. He misses. That's all he does.
Cool.
I'll go with
Okay,
Carver.
he's moving.
Carver's just going to walk here.
Okay.
Walker, yep,
Punching
Carver's
that
clearing
dude.
that out.
Which one?
Hopefully.
This one. Hits him. Kills him.
Kabooms.
Punching this living guy with his Swine Ripper. Hits
living
with a
guy?
13. This living guy.
Oh, okay.
The only living guy. Don't ask that
Dice,
question.
straight dice is 7. Kills him.
I don't think. Oh, am I getting tough checks, right?
No, you have no tough on this unit. Why would you have tough on this unit?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's a bad question when your
He's
opponent has 2
dead.
minutes left.
Forgot I didn't take the spyglass guy.
Precision strike, I guess. I just fine. I fucked it. Whatever. Which kind of earns it. I forgot to precision strike.
Tick tock, tick tock.
Guys, I don't think they
You
can-
gotta move.
I haven't careful reconned. I don't really have a game, so let's see. I could score 1, 2 puts me to 4. I bet you'd go to 7. All right. These
Yeah,
guys
I think he's
go.
basically conceding the game.
He'll run
Okay, that one's corroded.
here, placing these 2 like that. Go with Kane. Kane will walk 7 out.
Okay,
to
Kane's
here.
going.
He'll shoot
Again,
her,
he only has
hits
a minute and
hit.
a half left. I think he's just kind of conceding the game.
He hits. He boosts damage with
Armor
Heartseeker.
14.
14 off 2. Drops this. She takes 9.
Alive with 1 HP.
With 1. Second pistol. He has 4 left.
They do score that 40. I just don't think he has enough time to play
Hits
the game.
her, Dice off 2. No boost.
He needed to
Kills her.
try and kill Nastilla to score the cash because at that point when they walk,
Hit him.
he
Hits
needs
him,
the 2
boost
points
damage.
because he needs to try and come back into this.
Boost damage. He's 16, so I saw 4-5 damage. No tough.
I forgot to vampiric. Oh no, sorry, that was a warjack that I got. So he's dead. No tough, right?
No tough. Kane could teleport
Killed the sire,
5.
killed
That's
Vanessa.
Within 3, I didn't move him far enough.
It's gonna
Okay.
gate crash.
You're correct. That is not within 3.
Okay. He'll go 5 this way.
Camping
and
2.
goes my way.
Deuce
So
can't really
probably
do
can't
too
get
much.
there. He will go with Watts. Watts will walk 6 here and shoot Dices.
Okay.
I mean, you have 20 seconds left. I guess he's just going for army
Hits
points.
the 7.
Yeah.
Six and a
Armor
7.
13.
Dice plus off 1. I never kill that model. 3 damage. Okay.
Woof.
And then Deuce will go. He'll stand still, aim, shoot this guy, boost, hits, and then kills him for that dude, and then I'll run out of time.
Okay. Well,
Yep, you can-
that was the game that we saw. Tyrus
What was
versus
the final
Kane.
score on that? So
Um, Kind of crazy
Nothing.
because Snoop
And you'll
just
get
played the matchup of Tyrus versus Kane, and he actually lost via death clock. So, good game all around. Maybe he learned a couple things from just playing it. But yeah, great back and forth. A lot of the concepts that we talked about early on came up in throughout the game that we kind of focused on.
Even if
And,
I back these mechanics up and
no
scored
worries.
this one.
Yeah, so they're just kind of going over some of the things that they're the scoring and what's left for army points destroyed. I want to thank Snoop and Maxwell for allowing us to view their game. Really appreciative. And yeah, we have 22 people watching. Wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's super cool.
6. I had 6.
Numby, I 100% agree that last 10 minutes of everybody's clock, it can get really contentious really fast. Models start flying around kind of willy-nilly, and it can get a little rough. So again, intent is very important. What I'm trying to accomplish, moving quickly, doing your roles quickly, and yeah, it's just super important. It was super cool to watch. I know that I believe we have one more round. And while they are talking over that, let me see if I can pick up who is in the finals. This game went to clock, so I'm assuming they were one of the last games. They were the last game. So, looking at the finals, we are going to have Sterling with his Grimkin army versus Bazooka Dan with the armies of the Western Reaches.
It's going to be a wild one. We have 2 legacy armies in the finals.
Correct.
What a world we live in.
I would like to remind you that the Grimkin army is no longer a legacy army. So
when I open my app and I look for where Grimkin is, it is currently in Armies of Legend. So
okay,
agree to
well,
disagree.
I stand corrected then, I guess.
But so we are going to have the Dreamer and King of Nothing versus Makeda and
Tyrant Zadesh.
Zadesh.
I did just have confirmation, by the way. We're actually not going to stream the top table. We have a decline to stream that game, but we will find another interesting one to bring to everybody here in a few minutes.
Sweet.
Players. Unless somebody has a very pressing urge to take a lunch break, we're going to go right in the next round, which is the last round, to finish it up. Any objections? No objections. Hell yeah.
Oh, wow. We have no objections for a lunch break, apparently.
You know what?
All right. I'm going to close out this stream and open up the next one in just a minute. Dan, thank you for running the show on this one. When I was able to pop in, it sounded awesome. So
yeah, it was
we'll
awesome.
see
I'm actually going to review this one later on my own time because it looked like such a really interesting game.
Yeah, cool.
All right. See y'all in a few minutes.